She said she loves you.
But she can't love me.
But I love you.
Yeah. Look, I know my man's going crazy. I gotta brag on myself, I amaze me. Like I'm back in the 80s.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xBet.
On to the next one.
YaLLa Compass 2025 season.
If anyone peeks through, they're both dead. They're both dead in the smoke. Bomb drops, popped up behind it at the edge of...
YaLLa Compass 2024 champions!
YaLLa, let's go!
Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the YaLLa Compass series, winter series, rather, as we get things going for today. And even though we thought we'd get started with two best of threes for this main Swiss stage, there's only one, unfortunately, Ted. I thought we'd have a couple of games on our hands, but we've just got the one for today.
Yeah, sadly, NIP Impact have decided to forfeit their game against ESC, I believe. So, yeah, I was... Actually, by the way, that would have made me and you the NIP Impact duo, I guess, because we would have been in to cast every single one of their best of threes, and that would have been fun. I actually enjoyed it, and it's a little bit sad, but given the fact that they are forfeiting their game today, that means that they are eliminated from the main Swiss as well. So sadly, we're not going to be seeing any more out of Vilga and the girls, which is a little bit saddening, as I already mentioned. But you know, life goes on, and we gotta keep it going with the main Swiss stage here.
Indeed. We might as well be called the bad luck charms. But let's look at today's schedule.
Let's not pin it on us. Come on, you're giving them such an easy cop-out.
Maybe,
It's like, it's
maybe.
because Ted and Pavlos are casting. Of course
Yeah,
we're losing.
obviously, it's the casters that curse games, right? That's totally true. And there's definitely a start game button underneath my desk that I never press. GTZ versus kONO, though, will be the match that will be taking place. Both teams have a 1 win and 1 loss in the Swiss stage, as they're currently trying to make way through some, I'd say, growing pains for both sides. There are a lot of things that you'd kind of want to see correct themselves, or, you know, find consistency, find some groove. And GTZ is definitely one of those rosters.
By the way, I just want to point that out, because everyone's thinking and no one's saying it right now. GTZ's jerseys, I think they're new jerseys. They're really cool. They look like they look like the Mongols. A little bit.
I see that. They actually remind me of like football jerseys a little bit more, given that, okay, the Adidas logo looks a little bit too big.
Sure, yeah,
but other than that, I love the color scheme. I love like the shading behind. I like it gives me that gold gives me a bit of a Real Madrid vibe as well. If you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I get you. I think it's I think there's a weird dynamic between, if we're talking Counter-Strike jerseys, the Mongols and Furia. I think this is the child of the Mongols and Furia, which is only poetic because it's in Portugal, and you know it's kind of in the middle between Mongolia and Brazil. Yeah, we're talking about the jerseys today. We decided to switch it up, see how it goes. But yeah, all jokes aside, this GTZ team has been, I guess, struggling for consistency is the way to put it, right? We're talking about a team that's on a what was on a 5 consecutive best of 3 loss streak before their game against YaLLa around a week ago, and they haven't played any Counter-Strike since the 19th of February. When was that game against YaLLa, which was a 0-1 game here at the main Swiss of the YaLLa Compass Winter 2025. It was a 13-6 on Nuke, a 16-14 on Ancient. So I feel like, even though I have a little bit of a sentiment towards some of those players, because obviously you're looking at this team and the majority of those guys were signed from Rhino, some others from FTW, but the majority of the team has been signed from Rhino, and there's been a couple changes as well in the meantime. Diaz coming in just 7 days ago. This is going to be his first time playing with the boys in this specific lineup, but he was part of Rhino and FTW and Rhino before that some time ago. So yeah, those guys have played together quite a lot before.
Indeed, indeed. And as we did have on the one hand an all-Portuguese team, we've got an all-Ukrainian team on the other side in the likes of kONO. Now, look, sure, GTZ was an entirely new project at the start of this year. kONO have just gone for some readjustments here and there. Sure, Captain Kirk at the end of the year was the change, but at the start of this year as well, you got CJ and Zogan here to provide some extra brain and firepower, which I'm interested in because I think we have yet to see this team gel all together. Yes, they've come home with, you know, some interesting wins, actually, being competitive against Cybershock with getting a map off of them, but also getting a 2 against ESC in the main Swiss already, the first match they played here at Compass. I don't know. I feel like it's promising on the one hand, but on the other, I feel like there's still a lot more to be desired. They're young, right? Most of it, you've got some young players joining, but you've also still got the likes of Captain Kirker, you know, who's got experience under his belt, and you know he does have that cohesion with maybe Amster playing in Bait back in the day. So I want to say back in the day, you know, a couple of years ago, but still, it's still a roster that I feel has high potential that we haven't just seen yet.
Yeah, I think the interesting part about this team is that, as you pointed out, it kind of makes you feel like it's a young roster, but it really isn't, right? Bar, CJ, and Zogan, Captain Kirka, Amster, Soltovsky, they've been playing online Counter-Strike on this level for 4 or 5 years, maybe for some of them. So when you're looking at the new guys, I feel like this is where the interesting conversation is going to be, right? Let's look at the facts and say, hey, okay, during the break, some of the players that kONO lost, quote-unquote, lost to some other teams. You're talking about Paul Bandana not being around anymore. You're talking about Kenzizor. Maybe you're talking about Berry as well. Bottom line is, even Nife was a part of the team for a little while. Bottom line is, you lost a lot of heavy hitters. Paul Bandana and Kenzizor were 2 players that were single-handedly winning a lot of officials, a lot of maps for the side of kONO with their pure firepower. And the fact that you get Captain Kirk added to the team, I actually like a lot. I think he's a really crafty player. I think he's a really sacrificial player, if we can put it that way, for the team, for the greater good, so to speak. But then you're looking at CJ and Zogan, 2 players that we haven't seen too much out of. I mean, CJ's 24 years of age, and he's only played on a team called Monte Carlo before, which was for just a short while. For the likes of Zogan, it was on TNL, where he, I guess, made his first appearance on the professional scene, but we haven't really seen that firepower that we need out of those guys yet.
Yeah, I feel like this might be a good chance for them to do it. You got a couple of international teams bumping heads now in their 3rd game of the Swiss stage. But let's have a look at what maps these 2 teams will be playing on. We know GTC doesn't have the best of strong maps. I feel like there's a couple of maps that they like to avoid off of the entirety of the veto. So it kind of will see if it kind of blends into them. Lucky for them, though, maps like Ancient and Nuke aren't one of the maps that they try to avoid, aren't some of the maps that they try to avoid. But you get the permaban coming out as well from Train. I don't think GTZ are going to mind that at all. So Dust 2 will be picked up straight away. Inferno as the 2nd map. And I wonder if we get to see the trifecta of the OGs, right? No, we get the button ban on Mirage. Never mind. Yeah. But it's Ancient to be the decider.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty anticipated veto. Maybe you could have made a point about kONO picking into Mirage, right? That could have been an argument. Anubis, I think we were never going to see into the veto here. Inferno was the obvious choice for GTZ. It's literally the only map in the veto that has been going really well for them, right? As you pointed out, there's been a lot of maps that have been quite underwhelming, but you open up some of the Inferno results, you're looking at teams or wins over teams like Fireflux, like Ecstatic, like Favbet. So I think this is the really logical choice for them. When it comes down to kONO, a team like this one is always going to be good on Dust 2, right? It doesn't really matter as much in what current form they are. Those players in particular, and this team in particular, has always been really solid when it comes down to the Dust. So I feel like, aren't our teams on the HUD switched? I think they are.
Yeah, I would expect so, because it feels a little bit off. For Dusty to be picked up.
I just noticed it because I was you know what? I was foreseeing in the future. I was planning out how kONO are going to pick into a Dust. GTC
it's the exact opposite,
with an
right?
Inferno. Ancient is going to come in. I think we might have had a mistake.
We definitely have. Yeah. We definitely have. Like, there's no way that is correct there. But I love the fact that we both saw, okay, you know, this follows the trends that we thought of without even looking at the team logos. Because it's like, okay, this is going to be a permaban. This is going to be an insta-pick. And we never really paid attention at the logos, but we did eventually. But you're right, yeah. Teams seem to be following their trend, pretty highly anticipated. I do have a question for you here, Ted, though. We know the importance early on for kONO picking up that Dash 2 pick to get going off well. How big of a chance do you think GTC have in being competitive in that? And you know, will that pay a difference to the series going into it? Is it GTZ looking at a 2-0 potentially here?
I mean, man, I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like I could even side on the other side of things, and I could literally make more points about kONO picking this one up in a 2-0 fashion. I think Snappy in general was probably the man that could save them on GTZ. On Dust 2, but it's really difficult to be hopeful when you're looking at two results on the two results that GTZ have on Dust 2, and they've won 10 rounds combined across 2 maps, right? It's really difficult to actually make a point about them standing a real chance against a team like kONO that we know is quite potent when it comes down to the Dust 2. So I feel like if we want to go down that path of which GTZ have an opportunity to take it away, because I've seen that team win against teams that are well above their weight, and I've seen them I've seen those guys lose against teams that they should be beating even on a bad day. I think if the stars align, if everyone is hitting the shots, if everything is going great, they are a Portuguese team, and I don't want to make that correlation, but I will make it. The majority of the Iberian teams and some of the South American teams, they are, because of how emotional they are, because of how much heart they put into things. If things start well for them, they could literally fly away with the game. And I feel like this is going to be what GTZ are going to be aiming at. Make sure that Snappy's comfortable. Make sure that Nope is comfortable. Make sure that your heavy hitters are in the server and on high tune, because kONO are not going to come into this one slacking.
But without further ado, we'll be jumping straight into Dust 2, which will be the first map of the series, which could determine which team can go into that 2-1 bracket in the Swiss stage. The T side, the aggressors in this instance, as we open things up early on with a pretty spread out setup here for kONO.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slower one, walking towards lower. Rafa sticking around for now. Gonna spot a couple of heads, decides to fall back, but they still need to be on high alert for that potential short walk.
They do start to cross onto Xbox and Catwalk. They start to make maneuvers into A. The flashes do keep the mid players busy, but you can see that GTZ have stepped up, backed out. Long and ramp play for them. Rafa able to run away with 2, untraded, still causing havoc, and ends up having the delicacy of shooting a third one down. Zoggen takes too long to be relevant on the long side, be enough of a distraction. Does damage, but not quite enough to seal the deal onto Rafa as he ends up with a sweet old ace. Is that the full ace?
Yep. Yeah, that is. He got all 5 of them. That's one way to keep the individuals fired up, and I guess Rafa's the one to be putting under the bus now, and in terms of that conversation on who we're expecting big things out of. We're talking about the main man on the lineup. Look at that start from Rafa, just tapping away clean headshots, player after player, and the crazy part is no one's actually looking at him, right? That's because of how long that one player of Snappy, I believe, was able to stay alive and towards the right-hand side. Take the attention away, so kONO now go for the full eco, and one flash, they're just going to storm out B.
That nade had so much potential to do more. But it takes less than 10 HP from each of the players. And the mowdown continues. They just jump right into the meat grinder and get turned into meat in the second round of this game. Ted, you were talking about a little bit of the tempo-based potential for GTZ here. Do you think kONO has a similar aspect to them? You know, when they win hard. When they lose hard?
I feel like for both teams, consistency has been a big issue, which I guess could transition into that. But actually, no, I think GTZ is a more momentum-based team. I feel like for kONO, there is a higher potential of this team starting slow and then coming back later on, or starting really good and then struggling to close. This kONO team, I want to say core, even though it's only 2 people, Amster and Sotovsky, all the teams that they've been part of in the last 4 or 5 years, they've always been really difficult teams to stomp, but teams that have not really been able to get a lot of stomps themselves, if that makes any sense. They're always playing close games.
Yeah. Well, again, kONO seem to be conditioning.
Shout out ECK 2021 one time. I know you remember that.
It's been a long while since that, right? A couple of years now, 2-3 years. Linko flashed. Oh, at the start it felt like they weren't going to peek him, but eventually they do. And they do check the corner, so that's an early free piece here for kONO. And you're sort of hoping that GTZ can answer back, and Snappy does that on Catwalk.
Yeah, it's a big kill. Oper's still going to be posted. kONO players approaching though.
They'll be entering the site. There's no one quite nearby. Catwalk cross, that will be troubling. Smokes though get put in a position where GTZ can close up the distance a little bit. MP9 will struggle up against the AKs here, and that's exactly what happens. kONO are able to, just by sheer firepower, take over. All now in hands of Rafa. Looks to drop back and save it. This round is handed over to the Ukrainians.
You know what's the exciting part about getting to see Captain Kurtka, I guess, step down and away from bait into a team like kONO that's trying to fight their way through the doldrums of the tier 3, tier 2 online Counter-Strike scene, is the fact that you actually get to see Captain Kurtka farm individually. And it's interesting because usually it is a phenomenon that we witness when the tier 1 player steps down into playing online Counter-Strike, right? But then Captain Kurtka, who was playing on bait, now getting a little bit used to that tier 1 circuit a little bit more, even though they were still playing online Counter-Strike, comes back and here, I guess a lot more is expected out of him, and you can see early on some of the impact that he's able to bring into the table, especially on the T sides. Captain Kurtka getting that freedom to go in first, open up things. Something that he wasn't really able to do towards the latter stages of bait.
True.
Able to make it work here.
Yeah, players like Captain Kurtka are a joy to watch because not only do they sacrifice themselves for the team, but they often take one or two down with them in that process. And that's super vital to have for a roster like kONO.
I think for a roster like kONO, the important part is find your identity. That should be, it should be number one on the agenda, right? Because it's just a pretty odd mixture with two young players that I feel like no one is really sure about yet, because they haven't been on the team for that long of a time, right? They haven't had a lot of chances to show us what to expect out of both CJ and Zogan. A little bit of fail to Yuto at the start of the round. Corner smoke not where you'd want it to be. Thankfully, it doesn't cost them, and it's looking like another A play, but this time around, they're just throwing some caution into the wind, slowing things down. Issue is, you have no presence in towards B, and GTZ have already cleared out that part of the map.
And Rafa takes the opportunity to just waltz out and find a corner to work with. Smoke breaks just a little bit, hoping for the second kill, but that's not too bad of a start for GTZ. The extra player now expended to the A side defense, and kONO need to make a decision. Just walk out of there because the A side ain't happening right now.
Yeah, I feel like you probably wanted to play a little bit quicker in towards that A-bomb side, right? But that extra smoke from the CTs in towards long, now they've re-smoked it again on 48 seconds, so it's going to be really difficult to make it work in an A play. Still trying to go for the short walk, though.
And that's... He is trying to hold it down. Only good for the one, but damage onto the second one. I think that just might be enough. No, but just reveals himself from lower, and that's all that is required. Clean work from GTZ. kONO really struggled to open the door there.
Yeah. I mean, you say they struggled to open the door. They didn't even see the door, right? Or they saw it, but from far away. Also, where's Rafa playing from? Is my man playing from Brazil? Really? How is it that dark? Did you see his camera? Rafa, man, it's a bloody morning.
For a second, I thought you were just looking at pings or something. I was like, where are you seeing the ping?
It's a bloody morning.
He's got the blinds out and everything.
In the morning.
You know, maybe that is just comfort for him.
You crazy man.
Oh, that might be an opener here for kONO. And this is like a risky investment. They do have 4 rifles available and make that 5. As an M4 is collected by Kurtka, instantly taken out of his hands though by Rafa. Though, this hold might have just allowed GTZ to put an extra player to the A-side defense as kONO slow things down just a bit.
They're so invested into those A plays, but look at Rafa. He's going to get mollied out. Molly doesn't actually spread and catch him. Do they hard clear the angle? They're going to overlook it.
They will. Rafa ends up with the first one. Goes in for the second swing. Doesn't quite get it, but I think he did more than he thought he could have done in that instance. Still, we might be seeing a nice cheeky position. Did he just read that? That is beautiful. Now down to a 2v2 when kONO have got to cross onto the A side, and I think they might just been allowed to.
Cross through the smoke, though. Gotta be careful. Utility still 1 flash, 1 smoke, and there's 1 player really close to the bomb side.
Bomb down. Around being approached by Diaz. Able to find the first one. Looking for the right trade, but it looks like it's not going to be happening right now for GTZ as Zogan is able to deal with it all by himself.
Yeah, that's a big clutch. It's a big 1-2 there. Felt like a really tricky round, actually, to win for kONO there for a second, right? Rafa gets the kill through the smoke. He's able to get away with 1 more. Could have even gotten a second. Even a little bit of fortune going in favor of GTZ. And here was the really weird part, by the way. second player, I think that was Hamster. He misclicked in towards long. And just before that, his teammate actually fired a shot, so they gave away their positions, both of them. That's why it was so easy for GTZ to get back into it. And sure, Zogan clutches, but the round has already started. Minute 45, you've already lost Sotovsky. Okay, I was gonna say, why does Amster have a Glock? He's picked up the OP. I know they don't have a lot of money, but they're not struggling that much.
True. Very true. That flash is actually decent because it allows Snappy to just reposition between two smokes. He's just found a gap. Oh, and I think he's going to try and explore it. But CJ's got a map then, and it's perfect for the situation, but Snappy is able to read it on time. Look how kONO reacted, though, quickly moving into the A side.
At 5v3, though, you still have the man advantage. As long as you don't do any overkill aggressive plays, you should be good.
Nope. Tries to deny cross of a couple of players with just some damage onto Captain Kirk as they're just being punched in. And Captain Kirk is able to find an answer back. They need to be careful, though, because a nade landing on them, on a couple of these players, it could be over. But there aren't any HEs available, just the molly in the hands of Rafa. Looking to put two players out from long. Starting to put pressure from both sides. It's working. It really is. It looks like you can't really pay attention to two positions at the same time as GTZ overwhelm the sensors and end up retrieving the side control again.
Yeah, what about three positions as well, right? This is the tricky part. If Snappy goes down there in the initial fight, it becomes a lot easier for the kONO players to focus on CT and long, but under those circumstances, Snappy just swings, gets the first kill, and after the fact, it was so incredibly difficult for them to hold on to the bomb site. First kill going in favor of the Oper, second one just shutting down the Max 10, walking through the smoke, and there's the triple peak perspective. An MP9 and AVP up long range, another MP9 close range, and a Fama swinging from short. It was always going to be a difficult bomb site to hold on to for kONO. And you're already looking at 4 rounds on that CT side. As we said, if individually they look on, a Dust 2 could be interesting. So far, they've looked good. I want to say, we haven't seen too much diversity from the side of kONO, idea-wise, on the T side, right? There's been a lot of long takes, a lot of short exits, although I did like the crisscross smokes. Let's try and get the Mac 10 into CT spawn and then execute short. That was a good idea. Unfortunately, you started the round with a man down, courtesy of the AVP on the other side. Then the Mac 10 play didn't work out, and you were already in a 3v5, so it didn't really make that big of a difference, the fact that you were able to make your way up short. I guess getting the bomb plant is a bit of a silver lining, but all in all, GTZ have been playing some pretty sound mechanical Counter-Strike so far. Winning a lot of fights, a lot of crucial fights. I don't even want to say that kONO has been calling a bad T side. Don't feel like they have.
Yeah, it feels like they just haven't had the chance to gain any of this momentum.
I mean, sometimes Counter-Strike is ultimately about just killing the enemy, right?
I mean, it's a gun game, isn't it?
Yep.
I do hear a couple of ticks, so I can only imagine that this timeout might be reaching its end. I'm assuming it's probably something like a tech pause, as we did see a bit of a reset come through. But yeah, hopefully we can just jump straight back into things here.
You know what?
Look, yeah.
I have an interesting question for you.
Sure.
We're talking about jerseys. What is your favorite esports jersey?
Of all
Your
time?
favorite Counter-Strike jersey? Well, no,
currently
no,
of all
now.
time?
Right now. Let's make it easier. You can open HLTV, look at all the pictures.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because I think there's so many to choose from. Okay.
I have two answers on the ready.
Okay, give me your answers and I'll be the judge of it.
Oh my god.
That's
Jesus.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so Eternal Fire and Furia. Oh, and number 3, 9Z.
Oh, yes.
Those are my top 3.
9Z as well.
Eternal
I
Fire,
haven't seen them this
Furia,
year.
9Z. If you want to hook us up, you know
Bro,
where we
Eternal
are.
Fires looks dope, man.
The 9Z ones or Eternal Fire?
The Eternal Fire I'm looking at right now, but
look at
I haven't
9Z.
seen the 9Z.
The color is fantastic.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's all about the purple,
like
man.
Yeah, it's a purple flame.
It's
you know,
electric.
I like when you kind of texture your own jersey, right? There's a bit of a texture to it, and I feel like both 9Z and Eternal Fire have got that down. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, you know, some teams, their jerseys just look like they've been made in some of those Football Manager Facebook games of 2012.
Just a basic color and a couple of logos, that will do.
Put in the sponsor there, another one there, and yeah, we get
Call it
a couple colors as well. Let's see if
But
we
you
get a
wanna
couple AK kills out of this one for Zogan. Run boost fails miserably, and I think so will the round.
Most likely. Hard to imagine that the Glocks can do.
Right.
Oh dear. Oh no. Well, the nade does a pickup. The bomb hasn't crossed into the site yet, which I think is the positive here for GTZ. Oh, it could have gone bad. It could have gone very bad, but GTZ recover. Ooh, Ted. Oh, okay. I'm calm.
That
Nothing
was chilly,
happened.
right? Giving
Nothing
you a
to
little bit
see.
of chills there. Yeah, they're just
Sure.
teasing you with this one. It's like, oh, yeah, now we're winning the round cleanly. Now we lose 2 players to a Glock.
Bit of a tickle.
You never know what's going to happen next. Another opening kill coming out of Rafa with the AVP. The moment that Snappy gets that kill, you're like, well, everything's fine. And then, bang, Captain Kurtka, Glock in hand, double headshot. Thankfully for them, Amster had to face off against the 1v2 and tour CT there. Could have been a much more interesting one. And that was just a half bite. That's the best part of it all. kONO had no business winning around like this. Now they're back to the guns.
Ooh.
Did Lenko see him? Must
No,
have.
I don't think so. Could have.
I think
sure.
he saw the tip of the head.
Tip of
Of
the
the
head,
running
maybe
player.
the back of the heel.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think it was
Although
above
look
the
at kONO.
smoke.
This is the first time we've seen such a transition from them early on, but GTZ might be there on time. Oh, this is
could be.
dangerous.
If they beat him to the punch and they get the kill on Amster, this is going to be perfect.
As the S moves in first, it's Amster. They find the
my
kit
God.
pick, and all of a sudden, kONO have just quashed the B-side defense. They can just waltz in and make this side their own.
That is crazy. It is absolutely insane. You're already calling this one off, by the way. We're not going to see GTZ even think about attempting this. It's absolutely insane that Amster turns around, by the way. You could understand why they're not clearing, right? Because in your mind as a GTZ player, you're like, okay, if there's someone in that cubby and they know someone is coming in from T-spawn, why would they turn around? Why would you be the one to look in towards lower, right? Just let your teammates clear it for you. But no, Amster is the one to turn around. Amster is the one to get the kill. And that just throws a massive spanner into the works. This is, I guess, Pavlos, this is probably the first time we've seen kONO actually take into account and be able to counteract those aggressive pushes in towards lower from GTZ, right? This is the first time we've actually seen a fight happen in towards lower, even though it's probably the 3rd or 4th time GTZ have taken that control mid-late round. Getting a lot of information at all times, GTZ. This is the one thing I've liked so far. They've been trying to play a pretty dynamic CT side, pretty proactive, always on the look for information and for space, which is good. A lot of the time, some of the criticism that people are gonna have towards especially Portuguese teams is gonna be that lack of fire, right? That lack of spice. GTZ do have a lot of spice.
We do like some spice, don't we, Ted?
Yeah.
That extra flavor. Okay, kONO seem to have a grasp of things now. Let's see if they can carry on to a second round. Those needs hurt. They really do. Couple of players just entering now for kONO. Down to half HP in their attempt to break into long. You do have a mid excursion as well. That might be crunched in on. You need to be wary of that, but it feels like it's more of a lurk play for now.
Yeah, this is, again, maybe the 3rd, 4th time they've just gone out long early. A little bit of damage inflicted to CJ and Kurtka at the start of the round as well, and now they've slowed it down, waiting for the CT side E2, and they're gonna play, but they've lost their player in towards middle, and again, GTZ, that aggressive maneuver on minute 10 works out perfectly, and they're just gonna clear out the entire map. Surely they know it's gonna be another A play.
Yeah, surely. I mean, look, no noise towards the B site. You put 4 onto A. You know there's util flying at it constantly. Smoke towards CT again. But the ult from Rafa is going to be so strong in a position like this. Gets a call out. Or was that through the box? Doesn't matter. The pickup is successful. Now Zogan needs something like a dream. 40 seconds on the clock. Needs to act quickly. The smoke is still there, but it won't be for long. You've got to make a decision. Even a molly putting its place into ramp, making the water so much more treacherous, gets dragged right down under. And GTZ just make sure that kONO do not get comfortable.
Yeah, Rafa's been playing a magnetic game of Counter-Strike so far. You made an F1 reference before we went live. Oh, he is prime Lewis Hamilton in the server right now, and no one even close to his level of speed. 15-3 for the Oper on the CT side. And when you see Rafa re-peaking like that's the one crazy thing about me. GTZ is usually a pretty calculated team. They're usually borderline boring even at times, right? This is how diligent they could be at times. But when you see Rafa just re-peaking like that, re-peak after re-peak after re-peak, you know that's an Oper that believes in himself. You know that's an Oper that knows every single time he goes for a fight, he can get the kill. And there's nothing more terrifying than playing against an Oper like that on a Dust 2. You gotta try and avoid him. You have to. You should. You must.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Needy much?
Made it really dramatic there for a second.
Really? I know. It's, you know, he made me shiver a little bit. I think kONO was shivering. It's a bit cold.
They should try and avoid all of the players.
Yeah, there's not much blood running through their veins to keep them warm anymore.
That was a force buy, by the way. So it's a clean meat grinder type of a round in towards long for GTZ. They probably don't lose a single player, given the fact that poor CJ, who's yet to actually register his first kill of the map, is left in a 1v5 in towards middle. And if he goes down and they don't lose a single guy, GTZ, next round is going to be a cleanup probably as well, given it's going to be the Glocks only. There is a real potential here for 9 rounds on the CT side for GTZ. And this is a terrifying prospect for kONO. This is their map pick, for blood's sake.
Yeah, for GTZ, they've had a rush streak of form on Dust 2, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there are maps like Train, like you want to avoid from them, and, you know, they haven't really had a consistent streak on too many other maps. But Dust 2 is pretty much not been a comfort pick for them, to say the least. So for them to have an early start like this, that's pretty superb.
More than triple the rounds they won in their last Dust 2 game.
Yeah, that's pretty good for them.
Yeah, it was a 13-2 loss against the Copenhagen Wolves. And interesting part is, and I guess we could have never known about that strong CT side of GTZ. They actually started T side against the Copenhagen Wolves, right? And got 1 round in the first half on the T side. So they just picked up the pistol round in the second. This is a fun one. They won both pistol rounds against the Copenhagen Wolves and still lost the map 13-2.
Ouch! Yeah, that doesn't sound like GTZ on a good day, does it?
I mean, a good day for the pistol rounds. The coach, the analyst, whoever did the prepper is calling the pistols. They're like, yes.
Sure,
I've done my job.
That is a nade and a half. God damn. Kirka can't even feel his face right now. And I feel like the rest of the firepower as well as nades, as well as riflery.
We're not
the bullets
even
are
on
connecting. Yeah, it's a painful walk through Legos. I think that's what you could call kONO's round right now. It's an ouch wherever they go. At least they're able to kick a Lego back in the face. But it doesn't go all that well as the pinky is flicked off. Either way, 8-3, GTZ, like you said, a real chance for them to make it 9 as we approach the final round of this half.
It actually is exciting as well, right? Because we're seeing so much out of Rafa and so much out of Snappy right now that it feels like no one else is really needed, right? Snappy that used to be an Oper as well on the previous iteration of this core lineup. I mean, previous iteration that was back on FTW, but he used to be an Oper. Now he's just playing with the rifle and he's been doing a damn good job at it. Rafa taking the reins. Another opening kill from the Oper, and Diaz finally dealt with it towards lower.
That's Captain Kirk, freedom if I've ever seen it. He's been unleashed this round. A double kill for him and a potential chase into Catwalk. The fact that GTZ are able to stabilize with a 3v3 is a positive. CJ all the time. Look at this! Oh, you don't want to miss that if you're Rafa. Has to back out, use the safety of the smoke, and reset. That was not comfortable.
It's all right, though. He's been hitting a lot of shots. One miss is not gonna stop you too much from winning this round, especially with Nopex shutting down another player to walk in towards the B bomb side, and this is a little bit problematic. The bomb is still making its way in towards B here for Zogan, but you've lost your presence there, and you have a teammate of CJ who's walking through the short smoke right now.
That is absurd.
He's dropped CT,
and the thing is,
did they realize?
Players,
they should have heard him.
Are so separated. I mean, look at where Rafa's looking at. Surely he's got the clue. And Zogan now spotted as well, destroyed to drown by kONO, but a GTZ to collect the pieces here. A scrumptious first half for them. 9-3 is more than they could have ever asked for.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. Absolutely sublime, you could say. On that T side for the Portuguese. Or CT side, sorry. Now on the T side. Look at that. I'm trying to count how many times you actually saw an opening kill from Rafa in towards middle at the start of the round. I think it's probably 4 is the number I'm ending up with, which is an obscene amount for the same opening kill. It's not like we're counting all of them. We're not counting a long peak, a short peak. We're just counting one fight that has been going incredibly well for him.
Well, the pistol round commences. Saltovsky not able to make it work. Captain Kirka is being pressured. At least he takes down one. He takes one down with him. And the fact that you do lose Nopet on the other end, it makes GTZ think that the B side is the best opportunity for them to crunch in the duelist spray. It's havoc, it's frantic, but it's frankly just worked here for Amster. The turnaround, but he's being pressured for 2 points. That is ridiculous. Amster, how does he stay alive throughout that? He was under pressure from so many angles, but he gets it done.
They were just not on the same page, right? In a moment like this, one player is going in towards the window, 2 players are going in and towards the door. You lose the window player, you probably should have committed to the bomb plant, right? And you could see the moment of hesitation there. Amster just pushed it to like, well, we know there's 2 more guys in towards long. Do we want to just double peek Amster, get that kill on him, and have a 2v2 post plan? Maybe we do, but they just took a little bit too long to actually make the call.
This feels unnecessary, given you're up against an eco, but I mean, it still feels unnecessary. That's a 3M4.
I am not the biggest hater of being aggressive against the pistols. It's
Yeah, but
all
you need
about
to
not
back up.
being all alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you are all alone, get 1 kill, try and get the hell out of there.
Oh, they're doubling down. I mean, it's the best idea, not allow the M4 to settle in.
Oh my god.
But I think it just has, Ted.
That's not
it's
even a force buy.
tucked in undercover. Oh dear, no. Okay. I think kONO are right back in control. Are they not?
Yep. Pretty much.
Should be.
The tricky part about this is not even a forest buy for GTZ, and they still have 2 deagles. So on paper, all you need right now is 1 more cheeky 1 deeg, and then you're back in.
Rifle back.
Oh my god.
Wait, didn't he just collect? Didn't Rafa go pick up the M4? I guess not.
Nope. And he's been hurt. He's
yeah,
going
he's in
down in
trouble.
3 to actually 1.
Oh no, in -3, Ted.
Yeah.
-3. He was dead 3 seconds ago. Well, 10 now, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Not
He's like David Goggins, but in the Counter-Strike server. He needs -1 hour of sleep every night. You go to bed at 6 a.m., you wake up at 5.
I feel like every time I hear David Goggins speak, he's slept 1 less hour every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. It's
all his life. He's
We don't know
minus
him,
10
son.
years of sleep by now.
I wonder how
Someone
many
has
boats
to
he's
carry the
carried.
boats.
Imagine if
Actually,
there were
I'm pretty
boats in
sure we
Counter-Strike.
have. I am pretty sure we have massive machinery that could carry the boats for us nowadays. But
Sure.
Whatever makes
I'll
you
leave it at
happy.
that. Yeah, exactly. Whatever floats your boat.
literally.
Very literally. Okay, back to a reset. GTZ have got guns in their hands. Previous round, they did do some damage, but now they're looking for the dub. And a stabilizer here on the T side that could potentially put them onto the highway to success, get this map win behind them. But for now, it's a mid breakdown, which kONO are very much respecting.
Yeah.
Tunnels push. Amster could be in the prime position for this. Oh, but it's Snappy to win it instead? Big problem. Now what's the plan here? Captain Kuka, oh my word. I don't think he realized that he was going to get the pickup there, but the pre-fire was good enough. CJ on the other end, he's being pressured by 2, but he still keeps on doing damage, gets the pickup. Now it's got reinforcements, but Zoggin can't do the same. Bomb falls back, decision time.
Now you go back A. You got the kill from long, right? You were trying to fake the steps. Maybe you were even hesitating about going down. And now you know where Captain Kirk is. 1 more player to find in towards CT. He's just playing in the middle of nowhere. Sotovsky's put himself in a really odd position. Is there a smoke in towards CT?
There must be.
There is. Okay.
The player picture covering it on a mini-map. 2 players line up, jumping on the box. That is brilliant work by Captain Kirka. as well as Siltovsky. Both of them take on this round. This allowed GTZ to get any sort of comfort on the T side.
Captain Kirk is playing like a star right now, by the way. I don't know if he is the one calling. I guess it's Amster or Siltovsky right now on this team, but Captain Kirk is taking so much initiative, man. They lose that Amster player into Worsby. Captain Kirk pushes through the smoke to get the kill. Then he's the one to rotate and clear out middle. Then he is the one to get that first kill as well onto Linko and towards the A-bomb side. He's just trying to be everywhere around the map.
Pretty sure CJ might be calling. I know he's a new addition and not with that much experience.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere, yeah. Could be wrong. Could be wrong.
You know what? If that is true, fair enough.
Props.
You know what's the crazy part? You are right. It is CJ calling. Yeah. I actually remember I talked to someone about it a couple weeks ago, but I just forgot because there's so many other voices on the team that I couldn't get my head around it. I was like, well, why would that be the case? But yeah, it is CJ. You are right. Yeah. Shame on me.
That's all right. Happens to the best of us.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't? Okay.
Never.
So you're just saying I'm perfect? Thanks, Ted. You're so nice today. Damn, dude.
No, I was just being
You're
harsh
making
on
me
myself.
blush.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. But
They could have said
can
you were
take it
just
as a
nice
compliment.
to me. That was a... Thank you. Okay, I'll do that. All right, a big B-side breakdown, and there might just be a chance because they've just got the first pickup. They know exactly where Amster is. Flame to his feet. Oh, he is able to find one pickup, but is that enough? Because rifles are collected and beat control is full GTZ.
Yeah, you could consider calling this one off as well. You press tab, you look at the CT side economy, it's not great, and sure, it's against a pistol and against the low buy, but it's still such a tricky one to go for it. He will still give it a go, but even with that smoke, I don't know if you want to risk it.
I think they're going to go for it. I think, no, never mind. They were considering it. Maybe if one player appeared and they got a pick, that was something that they were debating. And they were setting themselves up for something like that. But the B-side is quite a fortress. You don't want to take it on, even though you know that one or two of them might be on pistols. This advantage broken by GTZ. It's not the buy rounds to do it. Instead, it's a pistol round. And that will put them on double digits.
Yeah, some of those set pieces have been really cool, by the way, for kONO. There's been a lot of chaos, a lot of speed, a lot of utility for GTZ, sorry. Their switch.
GTZ,
Yeah.
It was fine a moment ago. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Man, it's more than Counter-Strike anomalies.
It's more than Counter-Strike. The HUD is glitching. Just
yeah.
give
How's
it a
everyone
slap.
doing on this fine morning? Everyone enjoying their morning coffee? Hope you are.
Imagine if there was a HUD machine, you know, like you used to like slap the TV to make it work when it didn't used to. Imagine if there's a HUD TV and you just need to like slap it.
Just kick it.
To like, kick it.
Yeah.
Bring it back to its senses.
I think, you know what's the thing? I feel like only Balkans and Americans would relate to that.
I get why Balkans...
Actually, Americans would try to readjust the antenna.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Balkans. Definitely Balkans.
Definitely Balkans.
Yeah. Machinery doesn't work. Punch. Now it does.
Did you ever have a Game Boy, by the way? I feel like we're talking over this round, and I think it's an important one. GTZ are broken through kONO. Need to disallow it, but there's a breakaway from one player already. CJ, sight. Breakdown, not quite there for him to stop the push. It's a valiant effort. You know it was a Hail Mary, but GTZ will be winning this one, and there's no going about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like kONO are like the broken TV, and GTZ are just trying to fix them, so they punch them repeatedly every single round. And it's so nice to see some of the rifles starting to get fired up as well, right? This is a bit of a relief, actually. You could say from one hand, Rafa's been slowing it down a little bit, same for Snappy, but on the other hand, you could say Nope and Diaz have been getting a lot more impactful kills. And I guess this is the way that you want to close it out ideally if you're GTZ. You don't want to rely on only one or two guys to carry you through. You want to make sure that you feel a lot more comfortable team-wise. Zogan will get at least one extra kill. And another. There's the Nope for the pickup.
Snappy has a chance to die to the bomb. No, he's alright. Fine. Yeah, he's fine. I thought he was closer into tunnels. 3 collected kills, 8 WP in his hands. You know what? That's not too bad of an NK scenario.
No, that's great. It's great damage coming out of Zogan. This is what keeps you in the game. That was really impactful. Around that's not even close. I mean, it was a 5v3. It's a nice pick from CJ in towards middle, but they still lose both B players. And I guess CJ put in a big fight in towards B, but it never felt possible for him to hold on his own. It is great damage coming out of Zogan. Issue here is that regardless of that damage, kONO don't really have a lot, right? That AVP that you were able to hold on to, I felt like it was going to entice them to try and go for a force buy to salvage this one. They still call it off. Sotovsky's going to be all alone, supported by a couple pistols, of course, but if they want to win a round like this one, it'd have to be a good old Sotovsky masterclass on the big green.
Instead, it's Rafa.
28.
Yeah, that's
And I was
not
just
too bad
ranting
of a
about this
score.
being a team effort and them slowing down.
Look, to be fair, it has been a
Nice.
bit of a team effort, hasn't it? It's just one player assisting the other. And I think for this instance, Rafa throwing that flash is a perfect example of it, right? GTZ are pairing up and getting incremental wins. Was he blind throughout that? Because if he was blind and got the spray down onto a player trying to jump off the balcony, that was pretty damn decent. This looks like it could be a clean one. Sotovsky doesn't have his hands on that big scope weapon anymore. And it's Zogan left with a P250. P250 won't be able to do a thing, as GTZ are 1 round away from collecting their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, this has been looking like a really comfortable Dust 2. We probably didn't expect this one to be as clean. We can definitely say that we didn't expect this one to be as clean. Maybe we were theorizing, we were talking about the prospects of GTZ putting up a fight against kONO and potentially stealing that Dust 2 away of the individuals who are hitting hard, but not in that fashion. And I don't think kONO anticipated that level out of their Portuguese counterparts. It has been a one-sided day so far in the server, and with the map pick of GTZ coming right after this one, if they're able to close here on Dust in such a convincing fashion, then kONO would be in a really difficult spot going into Inferno. Feels like they still have a little bit of fight left in them, though.
Yeah, GTZ took those fights exposed, and they ended up paying for it. Captain Kirk coming in line. Okay, the B site has decided we aren't letting anyone come close to us. The 2 players remaining from GTZ are just going to have to twiddle with their thumbs for a little while as this round comes to an end, really. Maybe save the weapons, maybe try to take a couple down with them. That's all they could potentially hope for, right?
I'm even thinking about how bad it would be for them to actually try and save, but I guess at this point, as you pointed out, you can try and get a couple guns out of the hands of the CTs. You're not losing too much that you didn't already. But you do have a little bit of util left on both those players. 50 seconds though, and Diaz is just gonna get shot from the back. Linko does get a kill in towards B. If he gets another one onto Hamster, he could get away with a bomb plan, but unfortunately, not on the cards.
He was down to 10 HP after that first engagement, so it wasn't like he had the advantage on the second one. So yeah, fair enough. You know, you have to respect to try when you see it. But for kONO, finally, I feel like they got some air in their lungs.
I mean, I guess you could say that. You could say that it could be considered too late for all of that as well, right? Because they still need to win 5 more in a row, and with how good GTZ have been playing, it's really difficult to imagine that at least one of the players is not going to have a good breakthrough round. But hey, man, if you're kONO, you can only worry about what you can control, and what you can control right now is not the past; it's the present and the future.
GTZ going through the playbook, and now currently putting a lot of effort to sneaking a player mid. Oh, dear me. CJ's got assistance, though. He's not alone. So if GTZ go for the exchange, they're going to get their arse bit. And that's exactly what happens. Instantly, 2 players down. kONO can just avoid all engagements now.
Yeah, it's a great double coming out of CJ. Fantastic triple pushing towards shore. The T's never saw it coming. Even the reaction wasn't good enough, right? It felt like they were waiting for a flash. Nothing like that happened there. And now they're reaggressing in towards long.
If Linko gets both of these, this round is opened wide open. Wait a minute. No, CJ expects it, anticipates it, takes the crouch peek and everything. Look how focused he is. His eyes are lasers on the screen.
Yeah, talking at all times right now. That's what you want out of a new and young up-and-coming IGL as well. Focus. Now he's starting to get fired up as well. Getting a triple already. Peek comes in. Nice pickup out of Rafa. Just don't peek into him.
I kind of like what Noppet is doing, knowing that in late rounds, kONO do like spending the extra player, going for a long route, but it's not exactly committed with Noppet. That is superb. 10 seconds, though. They need to actually move very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Captain kONO, though, is very dangerous in situations like these. Spray down on the first 7 seconds. There's no time for the bomb retrieval, neither the plant, so Noppet will be calling this one off.
Yeah, you know what? If there was a little bit more time, they could have actually given this one a really good go. If the Oper was able to be a little bit more diligent in towards short, maybe not having to jump out with the bomb in his hands to pursue the bomb plan potentially, there could have been a way that they make that 2v5 work. In the end of the day, though, a really good triple coming out of CJ. We're going to check it out on the replay. Initial short aggression. There's the flash that didn't go deep enough. He's able to get a second, and then they regress in towards long. You can still see... The one thing that's worrying me is you could still see the ways that kONO could lose rounds that even started with a double, triple entry for them.
Sure. Yeah.
You can still see that they are giving some chances.
They're cracks in the wall, that's for sure. And kONO
Minor
starting to
cracks,
exploit them.
But cracks.
Yeah, I mean, they're enough for kONO to sort of chip away. And it's slowly getting more and more dangerous. The more cracks they find, the more chipping progresses, the more fragile this wall becomes. Not bad. Entrusted with the only rifle in this round, sort of hoping you can find answers. He is able to find one trade and a potential rifle pickup for one of his teammates. And that's the M4 falling into the hands of Snappy. Now, what do GTZ do with this? They don't really have too much utility. It's all in the hands of Snappy. They can't really afford to lose him right now, but not a huge opener. Now the ult misses here from Sotovsky. He needs to find an answer. Molly thrown, and I think it might just be enough to delay. Goes in for the swing. That's the pickup. Back to a 3v3. In the 45-second mark, GTZ look to pounce into mid.
You know where the Oper is, though, right? You can try and cut off the rotations. If they go mid to B right now, and remember, they still have that smoke in the hands of Snappy. They're just going to double back. They didn't see anyone middle. They still know Sotovsky's alone.
It's huge that he's able to find both rifles and put them in the same proximity so he can switch and choose whenever he pleases. Oh, he might be just playing around for a little bit longer as GTZ look to push through. Sotovsky gets the ult out, able to scope through, looks for the AK, and now switches all over again. Noppa, though, is able to deal with him, taking it right back to a 2v2.
They tapped the bomb the first time, trying to bait them in.
Nopet. Oh, goes for the lookout. Zokin realizes he needs to wait for his teammate. He's just toying with him as the bomb goes down. Nopet able to save his teammates like that. This bomb does actually go down. Final play and low. And that's Nopet getting the guarantee. Boy, it did get close by the end. But it's GTZ to end up with map 1 win.
And what a way to close it as well for the side of GTZ. They've been playing some really solid Counter-Strike so far today, and this is probably not what we expected out of a team that's been struggling so much for form recently. But man, credit where credit's due. Those guys, they played a great dust too. Individually, team-wise, Rafa was stepping it up big time. Snappy was stepping it up. Nope was stepping it up towards the end, definitely. And when you have Rafa, who's your bloody Oper, and he was 7-1 in opening duels. It really is difficult not to win a map like this one. Rafa played a great game, he called a great game, and GTZ deservingly get a 13-8 win on the map pick of kONO. And from here on out, Pavlos, the picture changes completely. Now we're looking at GTZ and we're saying, well, they probably should be picking up that series in a 2-0 fashion. With Inferno coming up, I don't really see how kONO could get back into this one.
They'd definitely be the favorites in that, Ted, and I think you're very correct in saying that. We'll have to see what happens on Inferno, though, after this short break. We'll be back after this.
She said she loves you.
But she can't love me.
But I love you.
Yeah. Look, I know my man's going crazy. I gotta brag on myself, I amaze me. Phase me. I'm too dope like I'm back in the 80s.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xBet.
YaLLa Compass 2025 season.
If anyone peeks through, they're both dead. They're both dead in the smoke. Bomb drops, popped up behind it at the edge of.
YaLLa Compass 2024 champions.
YaLLa, let's go!
Welcome back, everybody. And it's time for the map 2 of our match. Let's be fair, that first one, look, we expected it to be quite closer of a score, but GTZ just turned up and popped off. And I feel like that was the complete story of the first map, Ted. We can just put that behind us and stop analyzing it, right?
I'm not sure if we can really put that behind us, because I feel like I feel like GTZ, in terms of especially individually, Rafa and Snappy just put out such an impressive performance, and Nopek was starting to get fired up towards the end. It's impossible to just go into that Inferno without any context of Dust 2, right? And the fact that individually, at least GTZ were so comfortable. kONO were starting to wake up towards the end, which still makes me a little bit hopeful about their potential chances. I feel like we had a couple good rounds out of CJ, who had a rather displeasing start to his performance in the first half, but towards the end he was able to, you know, keep the dynamic going, get a couple impactful multi-kills, make some good mid-round calling. Captain Kirk and Zogan had a couple good moments as well, but yeah, it just felt like kONO too late, I guess, started getting into things on Dust 2, and for the side of GTZ with Inferno coming up, I feel like now the ball is on their side of the court, and it's up to them to show us if they can close in a 2-0 fashion when they're expected to do so.
You know, when someone says the ball is in someone's court, I always expect them to go on and say, and it's their turn to now show us if they can dribble, or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, I want to see them, you know, show us what they've got. Obviously, they won't be playing on what we would think would be a comfort pick for them, like that, you know, Dust 2 should have been. So it's not exactly going to be an easy affair, like you've mentioned as well. We were talking about prior to this. GTZ have won some solid teams on Dust 2, so it's on Inferno. Sorry, so it's not going to really be that easy for kONO to just, it's not only about conquering their own demons and coming back and showing a better performance than they did in the map before. They'll be playing against what should probably be a very comfortable GTZ.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of the games on from GTZ on Inferno have been incredibly close, so you can't say that they've been playing the cleanest type of Counter-Strike, but there still has been some serious names in there, right? We already mentioned Ecstatic, Fireflux, so when we were talking FabBet as well, when we're talking about teams like those, I guess the fact that you're getting a win is still a big enough achievement. The fact that it's not as comfortable, I mean, let's look at how things went on Dust 2, because if we're using Dust 2 for a reference, then the games that we had on record, so GTZ get 10 rounds combined over 2 maps before playing against kONO just a couple minutes ago, right? And that Dust 2 worked out perfectly. So if we're going off of that, I feel like on the day today, GTZ have been playing some good Counter-Strike. The individuals have looked really solid. Everything has been working out perfectly for that Iberian side. And from here on out, it feels like it's not going to be easy for kONO to put down or put out that Portuguese fire. But let's see if they can do it.
Yeah. Firing and be prosperous. Anything we've seen as well. GTZ on form as they start things off on the T side. kONO will be defending. There seems to be some sort of a group up effort now towards the B side, but kONO look well prepared.
Yeah, it's a triple setup with a flash in towards the ruins, I believe, for Sotovsky right now. So the moment that you make contact, you want to fall back. Kurtka's got a smoke as well, so they could block that play.
They've also got a player ready for a potential mid. The smoke drops as soon as utility is thrown. Zogan finds a gap, and it's the spray power that ends up getting the pickup against DS. Now, GTZ don't really want to be crossing. You're right, there is a bit of alert going on. Linker's gone all the way around, but he's avoided everyone around them. Surely he's hearing the commotion. Surely he knows there's something sneaky going on, but he's not able to find the first shot. And you're wondering if there's going to be any backup here, but GTZ are able to maneuver quickly to the A site and beat the rotation of the CTs. still, Amsa, high ground for him. Doesn't manage to get more than one kill. Soltovsky, not shown just yet, and he gets pre-fired. That is superb by GTZ as they find entrance.
You can get a bomb plant now. Nope, he's looking fired up as well. A double kill for him, but the retake is on. No kit, no YouTube for the CT, so gotta go fast.
You really do. kONO, though, aren't really grouped up together, so they can't really take advantage of their numbers here, but they do win their individual fights. And just like that, kONO are able to quash GTZ's little 1-2 from the B site to the A site and back again, and get themselves a nice little defuse and round number 1 win.
I'd still say it's good enough that GTZ are able to get away with a bomb plant considering how things started, right? It was a perfect block, a perfect call with the triple man setup and towards the B bomb side from the CT. Smoke flash comes in, the T's couldn't just go through. Zogan gets a kill and a half. Then you go out long and sure, Linko doesn't get his piece of the pie, right? He couldn't close out on that kill, but he still disengages the moment that he sees he doesn't have an instant kill, which was, I think, intelligent out of him. Didn't want to go into a fight the moment that he felt like he was not winning it. And they can still go for the 4s by courtesy of the damage and the kills. And the bomb plant, actually, in the previous one.
Sure.
Nope, with an AK.
A lot more
Keep an eye
passive
on
this
him.
time around. You do. You need to keep an eye on him for sure. The potential to be thrown out from him. It's all about the nade game early on Inferno. It always has been.
Look at that camera angle.
I mean, that's some cinematics.
Soltovsky's showing us a lot.
He's showing us his nice blinds, you know. Not completely blocking out the light, but...
Soltovsky's got a beard?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, yeah, on the picture he doesn't. On the camera, yeah, he did.
He's let it grow. Yeah, that's what beards do, Ted. They grow. You're a Balkan, you should know this.
That's BM towards everyone that couldn't have a beard.
I mean,
Sometimes they don't grow.
It's sort of cultural awareness that things like that happen. It's not a matter of, you know,
Okay,
everybody
yeah.
does. I'm not shaming anyone that doesn't have a beard, you know. The clean
Shame.
shave is also a nice look. Makes you look more youthful as well. I rate it.
Makes me look sick. Not in a good way.
I was about to say there's a dual meaning to that, but either way, GTZ make an effort to break through into the B site, not without much success, but it was all an obscurement because it's the A site that GTZ really want to go for. But if they don't go quick, they might be stopped in their tracks. Rafak's can hear the presence. Ooh, a bit of an AD madness going on them from CJ as he ends up with a pick. MP9 up against a rifle. Not too shabby. Bomb in CT's hands. And GTZ struggling.
Yep, could die after time. Actually, that's famous to get picked up, so it's not too bad. Snappy was going to be... He was saving a Tech 9 if he didn't get that kill, but if he goes down there, he could have had only $50 going into this round, which is an eco for everybody else, bar no pick. So it was a bit of a high risk, high reward. Of course, you're probably not investing again, although you have 2 players that they are buying again. You have 2 rifles. You have 2 players that wouldn't have had enough money, I guess, in the next one to buy. So I understand it. It is a wild way to start the map, though.
It is. It could put you very far behind, but at the same time, we've seen GTC in the map before to be quite capable on these pacey rounds where they've only got pistols, Tech 9s. It also means to be careful. The only rifle in play, or at least the only big boy rifle, the AK, pays dividends. Bomb left behind, though, so GTZ, no clear indication of a fast push.
You probably are aware that they've invested again, but it doesn't really change too much, does it? The app spot could come in any moment now, and Linko's up close and personal. If there is good flashes for himself, and Nope behind him to try and jump out, if the Tech 9 is able to get out of dodge, and the split comes in, there could be a lot of pressure on the shoulders of those 2 kONO players on A.
CJ's watching it, smoke coming out. I'm still aware of a potential short push. But here comes a flash as well. CJ's got himself high ground, though Amster and CJ both are able to find one before they drop. Amster is actually capable of a second, so he does cross the competition. 2v2 on the bomb plant.
Snappy's got a smoke, though. You can smoke off in towards Moto. Rafa hasn't picked up a gun, but you can't cross in towards Pit under anymore. You gotta hold on to the pistol.
Let's see if the Deagle will be good enough. Duck over, it'll put a little bit of damage. Deagle no more, but the M4 is still charming from Snappy. He's just toying with him a little bit. Tries to find cover, goes in for another fight. Some would consider that overzealous, but Snappy's able to pull it off.
It is overzealous. It is absolutely crazy, but Snappy's just going into every single fight believing that he can't lose it. This is the level right now. This is the mindset of the GTZ players. This is what they're carrying through. This is their legacy from Dust 2. You just feel like you never left, and we had that conversation between the maps. It was so weird when GTZ picked up both Rafa and Snappy, right? You're looking at two players that,
sure,
at a certain point in their careers, used to be opening IGLs. We're not even sure who's calling right now. We're not sure if it's Rafa. We don't know if it's Snappy. All we know is Rafa's opening, Snappy's rifling, and they're both sick. In a good way.
Man. Yeah, again, I mean, you use stick in 2 different ways today. I feel, Ted, your dictionary of words is... deteriorating, if you will. Or maybe it's diverse because you're capable of using 2 different meanings in one word. I've taken this topic way too long as Snappy is able to continue rolling down opposition. B site only down to 1 defender. You could say the exact same thing about A as well. Yeah, he heard the rotations dropping back. So he makes the call for Zoggin to hold the line here. It's all up to him, really. If he manages to get a couple of picks, maybe this is doable. Smoke out. This is going to be a Hail Mary push, isn't it? He's going to try and delay them as much as possible. GTZ slow with it. Snappy with the first pickup, and there's no retaliation. Amster, he could move up into Banana, but what he could achieve really is very minimal. This bomb plant will be going down. GTZ are picking up this round, and there's nothing kONO can do about it. And just like that, GTZ able to put a staple hold onto this T side. It took them a little while, but the fact that they were able to win the pistol round the round before is what really gave them life back into things. Remember the momentum they carried in Dust 2, and I think that momentum, that pace in it, and also the switch up in pace as well. Being able to have variety in their play on the T side is one of the reasons why they were pretty damn good at interrupting kONO. And the CT side, I would add. Constantly poking and prodding, making their opponents uncomfortable. And they continue to be just that on this map as well. And you're starting to see pains on kONO here. You're starting to see bruises. You're not able to completely buffer up an extra, a buy here. You've got an M4 you've carried on from the previous round, so potential for some damage. Maybe you can pair that up with some utility and hope for something, something special. But honestly, this is GTZ pretty much putting themselves ahead here, putting both hands on the steering wheel, and leading us to a 3rd round. Few deterrent smollies here from GTZ, making sure kONO don't over-aggress, don't go for anything too sneaky. And you can see Diaz wants to get off the pounce quickly. Smoke out as a deterrence. kONO, they've taken the gamble to the A site. Bomb now being collected. GTZ aren't quite bolstering the B push. No, they are. 4 players now into Banana. I feel like if you just overwhelm with util here, this should be a simple story. Put DS in the front line, start shooting with a MAC-10. Even if he goes down with a shit, it should be a take. Smokes on one end, deterring anyone from the CT side. No one there. Spray down from DS. MAC-10, double kill. There's no issue to that as well. You've even got an isolated player of Linko doing crazy work onto the A site. And he's doing it all by himself. 2 kills to his name already. Yeah, you can call this round over. It was over before it even started. Yeah, Paul Satolsky won't even have the delicacy of timing in that moment either. GTZ not only in the lead, but they don't lose a player throughout the process. All 5 with rifles. This is going to do wonders to the economy.
Yep, absolutely. It will do wonders to the economy. You know what? Now we're starting to get into that part of the game where some questions are going to be asked towards kONO and how competitive that Inferno could be. Of course, if you want to throw in a little bit of history, you could go as far as to, I don't know, 2021. Talk about that EC Kiev team for Sotovsky and Amster and even Captain Kurtcon Bait. Inferno has always been an alright map. It's never been their forte necessarily, but always a map that they felt comfortable on, and I think we're hearing some clicking, so there's going to be a quick reset. But
Probably.
yeah, it's not that Inferno is a bad map for the side of kONO. Quite the opposite. They've been able to get some good wins over teams like the Imperial Soul and Zero Tenacity so far this year. Of course, their most recent one not being the most pleasant of games against Viperio around 20 days ago, but I guess what we're witnessing right now is more connected to the fact that everything seems to be going really well for GTZ right now. And this is good for a GTZ team that is after a couple harsh results in recent times, right? As we said, GTZ did win that game against YaLLa. Before that, you're looking at back-to-back 0-2 losses to the Copenhagen Wolves, Rush B, Unity, and the Alliance. Before that, it was a 1-2 loss against Apogee, so that makes it 5 in a row. So getting 2 consecutive 2-0s here for them, I think that would mean a lot.
Yeah. I think it'd be the first sort of sense of form GTC would have covered this year, right? Because I feel like they haven't really gotten there yet. I don't think it's anything outrageous to say. And
they were there towards the very start of the season, right after the year started.
Yeah,
they had a streak of getting, I think it was 4 wins out of their first 5 games. So things did look good, but then everything crumbled.
It's kind of like what'd you say, the honeymoon period. Yeah,
sure.
Period.
Yeah. And now they've gone through their first serious scandal.
Scandal?
Argument. Yeah.
I'd say an argument is probably the best way to say.
Scandal is a good word to use for that.
Scandalous of them.
Yeah. Okay, argument. We can say
it's actually it's so devious, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm excited here, man.
Yeah.
This is looking promising.
You gotta keep you on your toes with some of those.
Okay, kONO. What can you do with this? Not the most comfortable of buys, but I think this is the most comfortable they felt. Taking on a banana push. This is a lot of legway they've covered, keeping the ace-side defenders comfortable, but they can't be too comfortable when they're tucked in their graves.
Right. This is starting to look difficult, Pavlos. That A bomb site just crumbles in a matter of mere moments, and Zogan might not even get to hold on to his famous. Oh, there's spotted. Pre-fire comes in. He gets that kill every day of the week. Rafa even blinded himself, so Zogan is going to be able to hold on. Actually, he's going to try and do one better. He's going to try and go and pick up that M4.
Sure.
Gotta be careful.
Stat track as well.
He's trying to play for a little bit of damage, but if he goes down, they have nothing. Nada.
Yeah. It's true.
Good news is they think he's reasonable and he's run off to T-spawn.
Gets 2 as well. AK picked
Bad
up.
News.
Never mind.
He's dead.
Yikes. You know what I thought of when I said yikes?
I'm all ears.
Shike Scoob. I don't know, man. I miss Scooby-Doo.
For whatever
dude.
reason, I'm
It's
not
been
disappointed in this answer.
You're disappointed, or you're not?
I am not, and I should be.
Okay. No, dude. Scooby-Doo was a jam. Best show ever.
Yeah. It was up there. I think it became boring at some point.
I mean, yeah, they do the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
Every episode's the
Let's
same.
split up, gang. Oh no, Shaggy's in a tough spot. He's in a mess. Let's save him. We've saved him. Now let's see.
Now he's
if that
scared.
monster
Make him
is
not
real.
scared. Give him
oh
a Scooby
no, the
snack.
monster is actually real. Oh no, wait, it was a human all the way.
And if it wasn't for you meddling kids, I would have gotten away with it.
If it wasn't for you, I was gonna get away with stealing the souls of all those hotel customers.
Yay.
And their wallets.
Right now,
It's
the
gonna be the
spookiest
richest
situation of them
monster.
all is the fact that I was about to say
Terrifying.
GTZ aren't losing too many fights, but that's a free AK.
Yeah, but look at the walkout long. Kurtka's just gonna peek into it.
Huge.
Wide swing, even made a couple steps to make sure that they were gonna be ready for the peek there. And
Oh,
nobody
my
shuts them
God.
down. You get that kill on CJ, you know exactly where Ramster is, you know you've got him split. It's all about getting that 1 kill onto Zogan right now. 5-7 in hand. Spotted in towards the top of first oranges. This round is over. It's a 5-2 lead for the T's. Only question here is whether Amster holds on to that rifle or not.
He's going to try to. Chill out in the wine cellar. It was once a library. Why would you turn it into a wine cellar, you know?
We're still calling it library, please.
I know.
Don't even start that conversation. I don't know,
I'm not. No,
apparently
it's
it's
always
cooler
library.
being an alcoholic nowadays than to read books.
Is that the message we're sending, Ted?
Yeah. That's the message that Valve are sending. I don't know about us.
God damn it, Valve.
I'm still calling it library.
Look, there is something about being
Books
an
and
Italian
wine.
village and then being like a wine cellar
You know
with
what?
aged vintage.
No,
I feel like there's
agree.
character to that.
I agree. What I will say, there is a correlation between the two, right? You're chilling on a Friday night or Saturday night. Now we're old, we don't go partying anymore. You get a good book, a glass of wine.
I like that. It's like chill evening.
Sounds like a vibe, doesn't it?
It really does. Although I'd pair it with tea.
I'm not as classy,
I mean-
though. Last time I did it, it was paired up with a protein shake. I really am not as classy and bougie, but it's the image of it that counts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. How do neither of those nades do any damage? Just none. Not even a splash of it. kONO. This is not the first time they've had the early lead, but it's the first time they've had an early lead in a while, accompanied by strong weapons in their arms. GTC needs some magnificent to get him out of this pickle.
B is still, I guess, susceptible. They could lose B right now. There's only one player there. Captain Kirk is going back. They're still looking for individual fights, though, GTC, and that's the issue. The fact that there is a little bit of time, and it's an issue for kONO. It could be an issue for kONO. There is a little bit of time. GTC could just try and get picks, and you never know, man. You get 1 kill, you turn it into 2. If you group up and kONO don't rotate the third guy over and towards the B bomb side, they technically still have a 3v2 advantage on B.
What's scary is that Captain Kirk still has a molly. So he's just going to throw that, delaying it even further. Snappy thinks of pushing a little bit in, trying to see if
They're
he
not
can get a
rotating.
pickup. Molly does drop. Zoggin not affected, and he's going to get a free pick here. It's not going to bother him at all. Might even end up with a 2. Captain Kirk doing his job on the defensive lines. kONO, if they get a clean one here, that wouldn't be too bad of a result. Not at all. And you've got this defense line bolstered as well. Third player approaching. Rafa will try and go down with a ship, take a few down with him, but not going to be happening. kONO, he better find a third, a comfortable one at that, and I think you could consider him right back in this fight.
I mean, it's a good first step in the right direction, right? The issue is that GTZ won too many rounds in a row, and a lot of them cleanly as well, so the money on the T side is going to be far from broken after a round like this one, but yeah, you're right, it works out nicely. You shut down Diaz, who went on a really audacious mission all alone towards top banana. You get a clean kill onto him, then the Oper posted in towards the apartments, gets his piece of the pie as well. The 2 B players are able to hold on towards the end. It's one type of round that just makes you feel comfortable if you're kONO. It makes you feel like you can still get a little bit more out of that CT side than maybe suggested or expected after the start. You still will have to fight your way through this one against the rifles. And I don't want to be a hater, Pavlos, but I will say, out of 5 times that Diaz has that fight against Kurtka, I think this is the only one time he doesn't win it. Maybe out of 10 times even.
Ted, I don't want to be a hater, but every time you said I don't want to be a hater and followed up with a sentence, you ended up being a hater. Okay,
I'm trying to be realistic.
I get you, man. I just I like
being
playing
a
with
hater.
you, man.
Being a hater is
I know
fun.
you do. And it's okay to be a hater from time to time. You know, it gives color to the game. I mean, you need a bit of color in your life, right?
Yeah.
Change things up a bit. Grayscale is boring.
Launders taught me to appreciate how to appreciate my imperfections as a person and embrace them. Start a movement. We're gonna start a movement for hate.
Okay. We wouldn't be the first. Absolutely not. I feel like half of the movements I hate, half of them I love. And there's always some counteraction. Yin and yang, baby.
We're all about love here, man. All about the love. And I don't know why I said that as if I was American. We're all about the love here, man. For real, for real.
Bussin'.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Told you about the 1 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I get it. I hear you. I'm there. Bomb taken down now for GTZ. Taken down isn't the right word. It's as if you kind of like have John Cena about to go like, watch out, and he gets a takedown.
Right.
You don't really want to do that with a bomb. You want to simply just put it down, punch the digits, put the code in. Otherwise, it'd be kind of
I guess
it'd be suicide
you're
by
taking
bomb.
the bomb side down with the help of the C4 explosive.
Yes.
In a way.
I guess, yes.
Yeah.
I just had to analyze what you just said there, figure out what you're saying. But
the C4 TNT wired explosive.
dynamite T. Sorry.
I thought you were going for another dynamite. There's a lot of good songs that are named Dynamite.
True. They're the bomb, dude.
Right.
Don't hate me for that. Okay. Serious talk though. This round, I feel like kONO lose this and they'd be in a bad situation on the CT side. You don't want this. You absolutely need this victory here.
Yeah, you still have a decent amount of money, which is a weird feeling to the game, right? Because both teams just have an insane amount of cash, no matter what happens. But it's all about the rounds on the board, and this is a good way to start it off. So Tovsky opening kill in towards middle a couple rounds ago, in towards the apartments as well, and now in towards Banana. He's been trying to be as mobile as possible. Not a lot of kills, but high impact ones for sure. Oh, he's fading the smoke.
Yeah, and for CJ, he's never comfortable in this situation, right? Because he's had so much payback from Sotovsky holding down that mid line. You can't really be comfortable.
They know that's the guy from long. He was the one peeking middle. He's the one to rotate back. And Rafa shut down Kurtka. This is falling apart.
It's so all over the place, isn't it? It's GTZ just breaking in multiple directions and catching kONO off guard. It's not allowing kONO to be comfortable on this setup at all. So they've got to have to hand this away. Crazy times, man.
This is tough, yeah. I know we're talking about T-side Inferno, and it's no biggie that GTZ are winning more rounds than they are losing right now for kONO. It's not like kONO won't have chances to come back into the second half, but you still got to feel like they need more than 3 rounds. And sure, they have the money, but every single other round that GTZ win, they just get closer and closer to that 2-0 win. And as of right now, it's not even about just one person being individually outstanding or 2 of them, right? Rafa's on 6 kills, Snappy's on 9, and sure, Snappy's 9 and 4. He's top of his side of the team, top of the board in the server as well, but the kill distribution is much more evenly, I guess, distributed. Can the distribution be distributed? I guess it can.
I mean, by its very nature, distribution is distributed, yes.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying. Bottom frag 4 kills, top frag 9 kills equals good team play. Job well done by everyone.
Yeah, good shooting. Overall, yeah. One team's been shooting better than the other, that's for sure. See, I can add to analysis, Ted. I feel like sometimes you don't respect it.
Why are you trying to gaslight me now?
I'm sorry, dude. Oh, that finally is a good push here from Saltovsky. Gets the big green in his hands and wants a piece of this action. I feel like kONO aren't backing out of it either. They've doubled down on the apps push.
I mean, that's what has been working out for you, hasn't it? Those early picks from Saltovsky, as we said, this is the 3rd time so far. He's got 4 kills. 3 times he's been able to get an early pickup for his team somewhere around the map. They got to convert eventually, though, but again, they've lost one, and Kurtka, looking like a scrappy fight, he wants to back off, and they've actually pushed into our second middle. Both of them have been spotted. GTZ, this is such a weird round.
Have they both been spotted, though? I feel like you know where one is, but the one that's dropped right back into pit. The other one trying to be a menace out on mid. Oh, it's weird, isn't it? kONO's just snuck in further into Banana. Captain kONO picking up one, dropping back, and now GDC, they're low in numbers. But you've got the pounce on the cross. Oh, dear me, Nobby, you've got to be quick because you've got Amster quick on his heels. You've got a turnaround player. Zoggin ready for it. Look at this. Captain kONO as well, but he does miss out on the fight. There is a player behind, which does get the interruption. 35 seconds, though. Is the cross going to be timely? You've got a smoke here for Snappy to try and block off any of the potential that Zoggin could bring to the fight. Molly dropped 25 seconds. You've got out quickly. You've got to figure out where the CT player is hiding out on site. Nate managed to be avoided. But as soon as you go for this cross, no Rafa connects. That is ridiculous. Now you've got to isolate the one player on the site, but I don't think you know where he is. Oh, but he misses. Oh, no. This is uncomfortable. Oh, but the shot does connect by Rafa. He's got 7 seconds. Got to run. Got to go for the bomb pump. This is ridiculous. Doesn't go through. Oh, my word. The plethora of emotions in this round, but it falls in kONO's hand either way.
I can't believe it. He even gets the kill, man. What the hell is going on? This is pure carnage in the server right now. How is Rafa hitting all those shots? They just overlook the possibility of a player being towards the back of the bomb site after getting the kill onto kONO. They just misread it completely. And then again, I mean, look at that pick. Nope gets the kill. I guess the fact that Amster is the one to shut him down makes them think that the bomb site would have been clear. He gets the kill through his own teammate there. Snappy spots Zoggin. Still tried to go for the bomb plant and commit. That was such a weird round. That was incredibly weird.
It was
special.
I think special is the perfect way to describe it. It was as non-canonical as confetti is when falling from the sky. That works as well.
Yeah.
Well, last round of the half. And Captain kONO is feeling it. Oh, but it pays off. Oh, there's no way. Prize an AK-47 for himself. And that's just the round. That is over. Like, GTZ, you're not coming back from this. I'm sorry, but you've lost everyone.
Snappy just swung through the smoke as if there was a flash coming in from a teammate, by the way, to support him, and there was nothing, I think. Or the flash. I don't know. I didn't see a flash. So, yeah, you just get shut down. Nope, Rafa, minute and 25 seconds you had. Now it's minute 10, but you're in a 2v5. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, the only way I see them getting out of this one if it's just kONO just fumble the entire thing. And I don't think they're going to do that. They're determined here. I want to see if this game, yet alone series, is recoverable.
Are you ready for the Rafa 1v5?
I enjoy a Rafa 1v5, but it's not within the realm of reason, at least not today. As kONO, I think, avert what could have been a destructive CT side, but instead, this is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad anymore, right? I still think there's probably no conversation on which team was the better playing one in the first half, but if you're kONO, you were able to get that pistol round, you were able to start it off with a 2-0 lead, and now you get the last 2 rounds of the half as well. This is how you get back into a game like this one. You win the second pistol, you get the conversions, you're on the T side of Inferno, and suddenly you find yourself in a dictating position. Look at the push in towards middle.
And it works like a charm here for Satovsky. Snappy finally is able to recalibrate onto him. kONO are taking this attack on head first with no care in the world. Nopper is able to draw it back to 1v2. But with a bomb heading towards the A site, he's going to have to take some time to get there. And 1v2 isn't easy when you've got to clear every single corner.
No kid either, no utility as well. Good thing is, he's going to be a little bit quick on it, but he's going to have a tough time trying to force out those players into the open.
Well, as he gets closer, becomes a little bit more methodical about these positions. And instead, there's a very methodical bullet that finds its way between his own eyes. kONO, with that pistol, have just brought things to a halt. Inferno is anyone's.
Yeah, this is starting to look interesting now. It's not a sure thing for GTZ to get the win. And hold on a second, they're forcing again. GTZ are forcing every single time they get the opportunity to, aren't they?
It feels like it. At the
That is the
start, it
forte.
worked. Look, at the start of this game, and us too, it worked. I'm not going to judge it. But, the longer the game goes, you can't really replicate rounds like this. Scout, not too bad of a tag. Good start.
Not
Could be
beacon.
follow-up damage with nades.
That's terrifying already. This is your AK player as well, by the way. This is Soltovsky. The 1 AK in the mix. Maybe you want to jiggle around with it now. Flash is good. You get the 1 kill. Was a little bit scrappy, but you still get a 1-for-1. Considering Soltovsky's still alive and he's low, I'm not sure this is a good refrag for kONO.
But the kill in mid is.
That is.
And that kill is as well. Oh dear. Yep, GTZ. Probably thinking that the force buy didn't really go their way this one. And they wouldn't be wrong. kONO will be able to walk into the B site soon enough. They'll realize there's just nobody home. And as they knock through the door, nobody will open, but they'll barge through the entry themselves. And GTZ are just going to let this all happen.
Yeah, it could have been a scrappy round, but the moment that you lose that MP9 in towards the B-bomb side, it all crumbles. Sadly, you didn't have that extra piece of Yuto, another smoke or another molly to slow down. Of course, money being the issue, so completely understandable there. And now we're going to be leveled up, 7 apiece. kONO bringing this one back out of nowhere to try and stay alive. Of course, this is a 1-1 game in the main Swiss stage, so even if you lose, technically you're not going out of the event, you're just going down in the 1-2 bracket where you need to win 2 consecutive best of 3s in order to go further. And if you win, you get 2 consecutive chances for the next stage. Which, of course, is the playoffs.
You did say, we've had this conversation before, it's much nicer, more pleasant to your mental knowing that you've got 2 chances to qualify rather than having 2 situations in which you could be knocked out, you know? So you'd want to have this win, rather than not. Get it done quicker. Boast of that confidence.
Nice.
Yeah, not only nice. kONO are looking to run away with the lead here, and that will be for the first time this game. And if it wasn't for the early pistols on Dust 2, I think it would be for this series as well.
That's what it feels like. Of course, we gotta have in mind the fact that kONO are the team that has started both those halves of Counter-Strike on Inferno with a lead. That's a cheeky angle from DS on the edge of the smoke. Could have gotten a single kill. Actually does get it.
Okay.
Thanks to Zogan. He's got a secret agent
Denied, I guess.
undercover.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps. Can't be getting away with such an extremely good score, you know? Just stabilizers.
Yeah, he's like,
The whole ordeal?
calm down, man. You can't be running away with just getting double kills into towards banana every time.
You're running frantic like a madman. Give us
Gotta
some.
stay humble.
Gotta leave some for the rest.
Ooh.
Not pretty.
Nope. Rifle.
Although, Lincoln would rather this was an AK,
Nay.
but
Bang.
bang in a market with fruit and veg flying all over the place. It's a squishy scenario in which kONO find the lead. This is 3 consecutive, by the way, on the C side. Not too bad of a start at all.
No, it's looking great right now for them. And I guess they are covering all the necessary requirements for a potential comeback here, right? They win both pistol rounds, they get good starts, and especially in MR12, we know how important it is. When you win both pistols, it's nearly impossible to actually get stopped on the map. Diazno, gonna go for that aggressive fight. Perfect utility, actually. He does burn. Was that a CT side molly? Or he got naded by a teammate?
I don't know. I really don't know. Either way, that's a lot of util damage. And smoke to come out to try and blockade kONO's push. but they're respecting it. If they didn't, this could have been an easy breakaway into the A site. Instead, it's given time for a second player to approach. Now they're going in, and it might be the right moment for it. Especially with Snappy coming to assist. There goes one. But how much more can you find, really? You're looking for a Hail Mary spray across the smoke here, but nothing's really coming away. kONO have succeeded with the takeover over the side. Bomb goes down, and now they've got the advantage on the hold.
Yeah, you gotta save. I mean, Nopek definitely doesn't want to, right? This is what it looks like, but you kind of have to right now. You have to call it off. He was hoping to stick around, maybe get a kill, break the smoke for himself, get a, I don't know, a second after, and make Rafa and Linka rotate. But even if he does get a kill, it's difficult to imagine that they would have just sprinted without a kit and without a single smoke in the mix. So kONO get a 9th on the board. The B bomb side, it just falls apart again. Diaz, that was a really weird way that he did go down in that fight. He was slowed down inside of a Molotov, which is never a fun time, and considering he got slowed down, the flash effect actually faded away. So it's like he threw himself out there. Didn't work that well, and Snappy then just walking through the smoke, hoping to shut the first player down. Little did he know there was already someone crossed in towards Grill there. And GTZ go for a tactical timeout right now. Time to talk things over. As we said, that was a 1-map lead, a 5-2 lead on the T side of Inferno on map 2 as well, and this is your map pick. Perfect position to try and run away with a 2-0 lead, but they are struggling right now. And the reason they're struggling is those 5 people on your screen right now.
Yeah.
That is the reason. You can
Look,
blame
I
them.
feel like if GTZ are able to have a solid CT side, yeah, sure. But I feel like it's not over. Until GTZ show like a stronghold, you know, get a convincing win, get an early pick, and see the round to the end without any major upsets, I feel like this is GTZ right back in it. But the fact that kONO have accumulated quite a streak of form here is definitely something to be concerned about. Early nades, some early damage, not as much as GTZ would have liked.
Oh, Diaz.
At least there's a trade.
Yeah, does go down again, but at least he's going to get that kill onto kurt. But again, that means that Snappy's going to be all alone towards that B bomb side. Rotations coming in. kONO, though, have a lot of time, so they can pull the plug on this play. Feet on the brakes. Explore their options elsewhere.
Instantly put pressure on one side of the map and pivot to the other, and it's just enough to lure GTZ's attention. They just cut noise. And GTZ have got question marks all over the map. They've got no one going for a deep exploration, no information coming in from anywhere.
Is that Rafa towards pit with the AVP?
Oh, if they transition right back to the B side, they might be in trouble, and I feel like that just might be what they want to do. But they're not meeting any resistance, so they're just keeping that front-facing maneuver. Oh, Rafax, solo with the orb. Not the best case scenario for you, but he's able to find one, holding in with the molly, hoping he can get away with a second, not able to do it, so the cross from kONO is inevitable. GTZ closing up the distance, coming in from mid. Molly onto the side. Snappy gets shut down before he gets a say. Uh-oh. This is not what GTZ want. They need a pick and they need it quick. Saltovsky is able to find cover to the back end of the side before the shot cross comes through.
Nate.
Uh-oh.
If he nades pit.
Huge, right? Could be potential double kill.
Still a difficult one, though. They don't have a kit. Oh, no, they do actually on Linko. This is doable, but they're slowing down. They're waiting for the long smoke to fake, but there's just going to be another one.
Uh-oh, and the time just keeps on running down. That's one of the low players. Trying to find the other one onto site. But they're running out of time. They've really run it dry low. And yeah, that's another kONO collection. GTZ let this one slip through their fingers. Make the wrong call at the start, losing an early player. And that just ends up costing him, allowing kONO to be the first to double digits.
Yeah, and this is starting to get out of control right now for GTZ. They're trying to make some funky mid-round moves, and you know what? Rap actually does an exceptional amount of damage. It's all about Snappy just shift walking into this angle, maybe hoping that they wouldn't be ready for him to be that quick on it. And it's still good damage that the CTs are able to do, but you don't really care about the damage at this point. You don't care about the casualties on the side of kONO. All you care about are the rounds on the board. And you've got a lot of them. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he probably didn't look at his HP bar before crossing through a molly, or he didn't realize it's settled there. DS gets away with this one, though. He would have loved a second one, but now leaves the defense trusted into Snappy's hand. Again, a 1-for-1. And I feel like GTZ only going for one-on-ones here isn't enough for them, as it's a 2 versus 2 for the post plant, as kONO will have the advantage.
Yeah, they will comfortable post plant positions as well. Zogan is really low on HP, but with that position in towards Banana, they do have a decent amount of utility as well. 2 smokes, 2 mollies. They can delay a lot.
For GTZ, if you lose this, you're probably out of this map and looking at an Ancient potentially. You need this. You really do. Again, though, biding their time, you can sense how uncomfortable this is for them. Molly, Rafax needs to move in, but instead he drops back.
Time.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're just not pulling the trigger on this take. Oh, yeah, this is already over. Even if they end up with both kills, you won't have time for the defuse. Oh, no. Ted's GTZ aren't looking comfortable right now. They are shaking where they stand. Sure, no survivors by the end of this round, but kONO can take that damage. GTZ can't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no two ways about it. GTZ, you open things up with a 5v4, then someone, I guess, just walks back into a Molotov. Diaz again is just going for 1-for-1s in towards top Banana. And I guess, sure, it's a little bit unfortunate that not a single one of those players is able to get a multi-kill, but is that really all that there is to that CT side, right? This is the question. You are setting up your individuals for success. But when you're relying on them winning individual fights, when they just get traded and there's nothing more to it, or they go down without a single kill, eventually you're going to lose. And it felt like they were a little bit nervous. It felt like they were a little bit stagnant even. One-dimensional in the way that they wanted to approach that 2v2 towards the end. Just waiting for picks that never came in from kONO's side. And now you go for another tactical timeout. There's nothing more upsetting than knowing that you've been getting the opening picks, than knowing that you've been putting yourselves in good positions, but you haven't been able to close out a single round.
True. It's the post plants that upset me the most. Just not having the comfort to take these fights. Just take a moment and think about what Snappy was able to do at the start of this game, right? He was taking fights constantly, confident that he could win them. Rafa as well was one of those players in that conversation, but they're just running through mollies right now. These are not the right moments to cross, but Rafa might be saving the day for them. Gives them some breathing space as kONO look to regroup and potentially have the numbers on the A site take.
Yeah, this is not the cleanest thing ever, but a walk out the A bomb side. You still have one rifle in towards long. Nopek is just hiding.
Oh no, he's going to be revealed first. He gets one though. That's not too bad of a deal. As long as the A site defender gets a pick, he does, and he goes through the swing. And he ends up with his head ripped off his shoulders. I'm starting to get nervous here, Ted. GTZ letting this one drop off their hands. kONO looking to end up with this map. Sure, they've got another round to go off, but it looks inevitable at this point. Ancient well and truly in their eyes. Maybe even in their grasps.
He's not even playing for the round at this point. No time, no kit. Just playing for a couple kills with the AVP. Doesn't want to risk it. And you can see the disappointment as well. The head shaking. He doesn't believe how incapable they've been of picking up a round. Another missed shot coming out of Rafa. 11 HP. Won't go down to the bomb. We got to make sure he doesn't go down to the players running at him. And somehow he survives. This is scrappy though, Pablos. It doesn't look clean. It feels like some of those fights are a little bit forced as well. Linko towards the back of Tarek probably had to try and stay alive for a little bit longer, knowing that everyone else was on the way back.
Nothing about this says comfort. Nothing about this says I've got this. kONO though are just being given gifts. And they'll take him. Some damage has been done. There is a possibility when Opa ends up with 2 if they don't really consider this angle. And that's exactly what happens. Oh, it's rough. Oh, never mind. Maybe there's a chance he can reload. If there's a breakaway through the smoke... Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, hand this over. Just put this behind you. Delete it from your memory. This this map goes to kONO. There's no way... there's no two ways about it. Linker needs something out of a fairy tale book to deliver a 1v3 clutch. But he doesn't even have a kit. Doesn't know where the players are. Nothing really in his favor here. 13-7 are the scores. kONO are able to trade map picks with their opponents. Ridiculous considering how the starts was to this map and the day, but kONO seem to be here to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, I guess, the one thing that we were kind of disappointed that we didn't see on Dust 2, right? It was just kONO trying to play competitive Counter-Strike and things working out for them before the end of the map. Because towards the end of Dust 2, there was some glimpses of energy, some glimpses of life, but it never really, I guess, was enough for them to give it a good enough go on that first map. Map 2, completely different coming out of kONO, and I feel like then we can start having the conversation about GTZ putting themselves in good positions and not being able to run away with a lot of the rounds that they probably should have been able to convert, but take nothing away from kONO. Zogan, Kurtka, CJ, Sotovsky, Amster didn't really have to do that much as well in the individual department. Everybody else was firing on high cylinders. In kONO, as a team, it felt like there was no post plans, no mid to late rounds that they could lose.
Yeah, I think you're completely right with that. I think it's just a matter of GTZ crumbling. Also, I feel there's a solid change in confidence from the start of this game. Sure. You know, whether that's taking fights, whether that's playing together, whether that's just lingering, and a lot of moments that required urgency, quite frankly. And yeah, I mean, kONO's the type of team that will take full advantage of that. You know, you give them an inch, they'll take it a mile. And that's exactly what they did here.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what they did, and that makes the third and final map a lot more interesting of a prospect. Folks, we're going to throw this one into a bit of a break, and we're going to be right back in around 10 minutes with the third and final map of the series and of the day here at the YaLLa Compass Winter 2025. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes.
She said she loves you.
But she can't love me.
But I love you.
Yeah. Look, all of my men's going crazy. I gotta brag on myself, I amaze me. Phase me. I'm too dope like I'm back in the 80s.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. One expert.
On to the next one. YaLLa Compass 2025 season.
If anyone peeks through, they're both dead. They're both dead in the smoke. Bomb drops, popped up behind it at the edge of.
YaLLa Compass 2024 champions.
YaLLa, let's go!
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Compass Winter Series. And look, we've had 2 maps already, take place, both on Dust 2 and Inferno, but now it's time for a third and deciding matchup head-to-head. And honestly, we've had a bit of a back and forth. Both teams exchanging their opponent map picks, and now it's all to play for. One map, and that could put them onto that 2-1 bracket here in the Swiss stage.
Yeah, and it makes it even more exciting, the fact that this one map that we have left is actually the one that both teams have played the most so far in 2025,
Sure.
right? So in case you maybe thought that, map 1 was a little bit scrappy or map 2 was a little bit scrappy, I for one think that maybe on Inferno, both teams, even if kONO were the ones to win, I think both teams could shake their hands that there was a lot of carnage moments and a lot of situations where things were just a little bit out of touch, maybe with what the teams necessarily probably expected and wanted out of them. I feel like going into Ancient, there would be a hope for a cleaner type of game, right? You'd expect some of the fundamentals to be a little bit more polished. You'd expect the comms to be a little bit cleaner as well. Now both teams have won a map, lost a map, so I think you either have finally been able to find your I guess element of motivation, your catalyst, if you will, if you're kONO, and then if you're on the side of GTZ, you already did have your wake up call. kONO had that on map 1, right? So for both teams, it's been a pretty similar story, and I feel like going into Ancient, the one thing that I'm looking forward to is just some good Counter-Strike. I don't really, from here on out, I feel like it's really difficult to say this team is gonna win based on that, because both teams have shown us some good and some not as good moments. But the one thing that we are expecting and we hope to see is just competition.
I completely agree, Ted. I think we just need to see some solid play, and I think both teams are capable of it. It's just that on the second map, the game just spiraled out of control. I feel like there was a sense of urgency that you need to take picks, and then some players lost confidence, and you just need a few minutes out of the server to just recalibrate. I feel like that's very possible that both GTZ or either kONO can just take a few minutes, compose themselves and start playing, with the solid way they know they can. It's just a matter of not being in their own heads, because look, both of the teams fairly young, right? Sure, you're not at the most experience out there, and you've been playing at this level for a while, sure. But I think for kONO, this is more of a learning experience for CJ as well, where you can potentially start to when you've got games like this that can become a little bit more scrappy, if you're the first one to compose your team and start running up rounds one after the other and creating some tempo for yourself, it could be excellent for deciding maps. So, I hope to see CJ, make his team calm down a little bit and, start holding their lines a little bit better, and potentially they could just take this series as their own.
But there's other people on this team that could help him as well in that endeavor, right? That is the one, I guess, thing that made me a little bit excited about knowing that CJ is actually the in-game leader, because he's a young and up-and-coming guy, especially for this level of Counter-Strike. He's not one of the most well-known. You still have guys like Sotovsky, like Amster, like Kurtka as well, that have always been big voices on their teams. Some of them have been in-game leaders. Sotovsky's been an IGO, Amster's been an IGO, Captain Kurtka maybe some time back in bait early days or in the ink as but we know that he's always been a good voice in the team, is the bottom line of all this. And I feel like if you're CJ, you're going into this one knowing that you have a lot of support, even if sometimes it feels like he's struggling for ideas, even if at times things don't seem to click. There's a lot of people that can guide him and navigate him towards the right solution, so to speak.
I'm not quite sure if we heard from production whether
Yeah, that's
we'd
what
be
you
jumping
heard.
into game or break.
Break.
Break. Okay, then
Yeah.
let's throw it to a break then. It seems like we might have a couple of technical issues. We'll be back as soon as they're sorted. Well, thank you for staying patient, everybody, as we are back for the final map of the series, kONO versus GTZ on the chase to be amongst the teams in the 2-1 bracket in the Swiss stage. Ancient will be our playground, though, Ted. I'm looking forward to this one. Both teams showing a bit of shakiness in the first two maps. Now there's time to compose themselves and cross the finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going into this one a little bit delayed, but hopefully both those teams are going to be as focused as it gets. It's all here. It's all now. And there's no going back. Winner of this one goes into the 2-1 bracket. Loser of this one goes into the doldrums of the 1 and 2, where they would have to win 2 in a row. And the fact that we're starting it off with a technical timeout, Pavlos, does not fill me out with hope.
Look, I mean, the issue at the start was that players weren't able to connect to the server. But now I feel like everybody's online, so we should be getting started. And that's exactly what happens. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Gaben, for making this all happen again. GTZ on the T side, kONO on the CT side as we get things rolling. Ukraine versus Portugal, essentially, for this matchup. And so far, 1-1 with both teams switching. Is a place where both teams are familiar with. Let's see who'll be on top for this one.
Format starting towards the B-bomb side. They're actually picking up the pace. It's a straight up Raj Hamster able to get the first one, shutting down the first couple with the Julies, and he's starting to get fired up. They're just running into a barrage of pistols and running into a fully stacked bomb site. kONO kicked things off with a bang.
I mean, there was some confidence that definitely was asserted on Inferno towards the latter stages of that map, and it's definitely carried over from the get-go. That was explosive. Doolies did a lot of work there, and GTZ didn't really have a say.
No, absolutely not. And I guess we said that we probably should be trying to ignore what happened on the first and the second map, but if we're talking about context and which team should be the more comfortable, it probably is kONO with the, I guess, opportunity to carry on some of that momentum that they were able to build up on that Inferno second half.
Look how pacey GTZ are with a push onto the A site. Sure, kONO go for the early mid-prio stack with the nades. Doesn't pay off, though. GTZ get a free plant.
Nice.
How much more can they get, though? That's the answer. Maybe another pick. Potentially a second. If you hide out in the tunnel for a little bit. But it doesn't really work out for them. Just the pick, the plant. kONO will be defusing this one without too many issues. Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it's a full-on eco for GTZ, so getting the bomb plant is good enough. You get 1 kill. Stellar job. kONO are not letting things get out of control early on, and this is quite important. Enshin was, I guess, towards the start of the calendar year, because kONO didn't really have an off-season, right? They were playing all the way between mid-December and mid-January as well in a lot of events. One of those teams that were on the grind in the Frost and Fire Europe as the break was going, but Enshin was a great map for them at the start of the year. Now they've lost their last 2 Enshins in a row against the Adventurers and against Cybershock, but what those teams have in common is that they're both from the CAS region, and outside of the CAS region, there hasn't been a lot of teams that have been able to steal an Enshin away from kONO.
Very true. Bomb does go down this time around, but it's not without some anticipation from Siltovsky. Although you're putting a lot of presence out in tunnels, and you've got Captain Kirker catching Diaz. Going for a big old wraparound. Doesn't work his way, though. Still, Rafax thinking he needs to put more pressure on the Temple. Finally paying dividends for the T side. But kONO starting to lose time. They've had time trouble in the previous map. And it looks like they'll meet that same fate again. 2 players knocked out. CJ will second guess this one. He's going to drop back, hand this one over. GTZ with a grand old start.
Yeah. Not sure if Snappy wants to go for that peak. Probably doesn't. GTZ will get their first round on the board. It still felt like a really doable one for kONO, right? They get that kill. I think it was Captain Kirken towards T-spawn that was able to cut off the player trying to sprint their way from B back towards the A-bomb side. They had a, 5v3 for a second there, but then Linko and the player on top of the boost were able to get 2 kills in unison. So now we're seeing Captain Kirke being a little bit vocal about it. That's the conversation we had before the start of this one. Even though CJ is the in-game leader, you sure as hell know that Captain Kirke is going to be bringing in a lot of input to the comms here on kONO. Now being a mid player as well. That's exciting. Haven't seen Captain Kirke in a position to be a star in a while. He was a cave menace on bait.
True.
And now he's dead.
Yes. Facts. Hoping to continue with a spree. CJ. If he would have gotten a second one there, that would have been monster work for kONO and potentially could have kept them in contention. But that doesn't happen. And again, kONO, it looks like they were looking on the outside of a fishbowl again. 4 rounds consecutive.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of an issue.
I think GTZ's T side so far has shown to be a really difficult one to, I guess, get used to in a way, because they are playing really high tempo, right? It's always aggression, it's always speed. You think they're gonna slow it down, they slow it down for like 4 or 5 extra seconds at the start of the round, but there's been a lot of pace. The map feels like just started, what, 3-4 minutes ago when we were already 4 rounds deep. Every single time it's been a rush or, as I said, just a slow delay at the start and then an explosion. There has been great dynamics to that T side of GTZ, makes it difficult to keep track of what is going on if you're kONO. You need to always be on high alert. You can't really relax at any given time. And of course, if you're GTZ, this is the risk that you're carrying with that type of an approach. If it doesn't work, it's going to feel like you're just running into a wall and you're throwing yourselves out there and not giving yourselves the time to think, right? But if it is working out and you're calling on the front foot, so to speak, or from the leading position, and you're just making all of those quick rounds work, it just feels like you're running over your opponents, and honestly, that's been the vibe the last 2 rounds.
CJ. This is confident of him. Oh! Confidence pays off, apparently. There's the new caller for kONO. Just grabs one, gets back.
Still, a good response in towards long. I think Sotovsky was boosted, actually. But they do find another kill. This is Zogan being aggressive in towards A main. The wallbang kill is going to make quite a difference, but still feeling a little bit suffocating right now for the T's, especially with that pickup from Zogan again.
Disrupting, isn't it? GTZ not really allowed to set up. Feel their way through the map. Instead, they're being interrupted. Unsettled. kONO able to find the lead as they start to switch things up a bit now on the CT side. Is that
Now
Zogan
he's
going
starting to
berserk?
get fired up. Someone's starting to get in the right mood here. Zogan jumping out of excitement out of this one, and you can understand why. He was able to get 4 kills, and it felt like he was so happy that he actually helped his teammate get his hands on an AK as well. Nice to see the youngster getting a little bit more confidence. He's on 7-1 so far. It's interesting where some of those teams just find those youngsters. In Zogan's case, before May 2024, no one knew who he was. Of course, he joined TNL in May, and he spent a little bit of time there. I say a little bit of time until the end of the year. He played on there with Carne, with Stomach, with Yukitoro and Onik for the most part. But all in all, we're talking about a player that's got only 47 official maps in his professional career on HLTV.
That's a bit rough, isn't it?
Yeah,
although it's what you'd expect. But it's definitely kONO
Zogan
putting their
and-
foot down, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine Zogan and CJ just becoming the next. I mean, Zogan becoming the next Kenzizor, for example, or
Ooh,
something
yeah.
like that. I mean, it's just crazy how they keep pulling those kids out of the CS region like rabbits out of a magical hat, right? Out of a magician's hat. Every single time you feel like you have enough. It feels like, and it's not concerning that. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain it in a proper way. Let me think about how I want to explain this.
Go ahead.
It's not like there's a lack of talent in that specific region. It's not like there isn't a lot of youngsters that are teenagers and can shoot heads. But it still feels like it's not enough for those guys. They still want to bring in new kids every single time. It's new people.
There's always more.
Always more. They're not recycling.
Come out of nowhere. Yeah, exactly. It's just like the brand new next model. The next big thing. Early on, though, GTZ not the best of starts, given that Linko's down to 4 HP, and Snappy no longer has his head on his shoulders. You could say the same about Linko. This is not going the right way at all. kONO, they've stepped on the gas. And, yeah, GTZ aren't liking this. They're looking for an answer, but all 3 players isolated alone. Rafa is looking at the right direction. CJ is going for the chase, but catches him with his pants down. Nearly gets a second, but I think the damage already been done. A 2v4 looks nigh impossible.
Yeah, you know where both players are as well, right? You know that DS tried to get into a fight coming out of cave, and now you've spotted both those players out. Of course, there is a possibility that it is the same player that you did see in towards the cave, but I feel like they know it's both of them. They're just going to be locked in. 2 players in towards middle, just being careful about that, and Zogan is just jiggling in towards short, not even going to get into a fight, you feel like.
I mean, given the benefit of the doubt, 1v3 would be exciting. Smart to wait for a potential nade or molly.
It would be.
But the molly eventually does come, and it does burn the tip of his bum. 3 on 1. Not a comfortable situation to be in, especially when 1 bullet would do the job. So kONO defuse, and they create a bit of a buffer now.
When you said burning the tip of his bum, there were so many scenes from the Looney Tunes that just spawned in my head, in my brain.
I'm glad, because that's what I was going for.
Yeah, that's the vibe we were looking for.
Dude, Looney Tunes were goated. I feel like so many cartoons try to.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they really don't. It's just. Good old humor where falling off a cliff and hurting yourself.
This is me being realistic.
True, I agree. I hope we don't sound like boomers, but even if we do, you know, that's our opinion. Deal with it.
I mean, there's nothing bad about sounding like the Looney Tunes. They were really good.
What's up?
You rabbit. Wabbit.
Wabbit. Cash wabbit.
Oh no. Pistols.
This could be what GTZ needed. I feel like GTZ find most of the success with pistols. But it's about crossing this finish line, isn't it? And kONO are very far away. And there are extra steps to this, Ted. They're kind of cutting down the lurk, potentially from double doors, a double up onto Saltovsky. I butchered that name. Kirka, though, will be looking to butcher his opponents. Doesn't quite happen for him. That's unlucky. But for GTZ, though, I'm glad they can bounce back here. That's a good dub for them.
Yeah, it is. It is a really good round, and it comes in a perfect moment as well. Momentum-wise, it probably felt like kONO were starting to run away with too many consecutive rounds for GTZ's liking. And then, jokes aside, you pull a rabbit out of the hat. Something a bit more creative. Go be with Tech Knights. The most creative thing in the world. They make it work, though. That's what it's all about. You get this one on the board. You're staying in touching distance. You don't want to let kONO just fly away. But I still feel like kONO have been the more comfortable out of the 2 teams so far. Especially with Zogan hitting some good form. He's on 9 and 1. Yet to go down a second time. And they still have enough money for the reinvestment. So Tovsky obviously hasn't been given too many opportunities with the AVP just yet. But remember the impact that was coming in from his side of the bracket. Or his side of things on Inferno. So many rounds he was able to put his team in an advantageous situation. Let's see if he can do it again.
I mean, I don't see why not. They've been granted access. I kind of like the GTZ have focused up a bit here because they're adding extra layers to these takes. Players to destabilize kONO on their rotations. The takes look clean. What's changed? It feels like they completely, you know, flipped the switch or something.
I mean, they get a kill on the spam, by the way. Amster just goes down through the wall. There's nothing he can do about it, right? Just spam through blue, and you still know the K player is alive, so... Yeah, CJ is not getting out of there alive. I guess there is a mixture of GTZ trying to be a little bit more... coordinated, on the same page. But yeah, a bit of fortune as well, definitely. When you get a kill like this one, it's so much easier to walk into a bomb site, right? You get all the space, you get the upper posted on that deep angle in towards short, and especially when there's another AVP trying to peek into the angle slowly on the other side, you're always going to win that fight. You know CJ is the K player, you don't see him anywhere on site. I think GTZ are definitely turning up into, or shifting into different gears, I guess you could say, but there is definitely a little bit of luck involved as well. Just a slight, a tad bit.
Which kONO might be the beneficiaries of this time around.
The
I don't
bomb
think
is
they've
there.
just... Yeah, they've just found it. No, they haven't. Oh.
It's behind the box. They might. They have. They see
No,
it.
they have.
Yeah.
Surely, if you're GTZ, you expect a position like this.
Maybe not.
Salvatowski
This
asking... Oh, no! That's rough. And GTZ have got plenty of time to work with, and the numbers.
And
I
the
feel
flag
like
as well.
we've fallen back into old habits here, Ted.
Feels like it, doesn't
dear.
it? Oh, Amsterdam's want to fight. I thought Snappy was going to get that kill every day of the week, and Zogan has
my
caught a perfect
God.
timing. No one's looking. They don't know.
This is more than perfect. No one's looking. Zogan might be getting away with a complete turnaround. No rifle to be found, but he doesn't find the shot. He gives a call to his
Amster's
teammate,
there
though, to
already.
cross into the A site. Oh, dear. Can Amster do it, though? Because he's hiding out on Temple. He's not able to stop any of the cross. He's not in the best position for this. Bomb will be going down. He might try and take the isolated fight, and he's successful in doing it. Now he can play time. Because he knows his opponent is in trouble. But no pay recovers. Oh, my goodness. This round got us through the motions.
Zogan's picked up an AK, though. It's all about where he wants to come from, right? You spot him out in towards the bottom of the B ramp. He could be coming in from A main. Could be a donut play. Could be a CT or a tempo angle as well. He could literally be walking from every single part of the map here. It's a game of timings and a game of time as well. No kid on the CT.
Zogan's been doing pretty damn well on the defensive
Sticking
so
it.
far.
You won't be able to see him.
Come on. Oh, he does with a nade. Whoa. If it would have ended with an ender diffuse, my hands would be up in the air. Well, they
I thought
still
he was
are, 'cause
behind
that was
the
a
box,
crazy
by the way.
round.
For a second there, I thought Zogan had the box for cover. He wouldn't have been spotted. That would have been crazy. This is still a really expensive round, though, right? It's just a half buy, just a crunch in towards the lane, and kONO were able to make it that expensive. I guess if you're GTZ, you don't really give a damn because you're still keeping rounds on the board, or you keep putting rounds on the board, but it definitely comes down to the wire. No pay. Saves them again. He has been incredibly impactful so far. The most experienced internationally out of the lineup.
Well, kONO attempted to take a mid-fight, but this time GTZ threw a lot of players at the problem. And were able to take over. Still, Bomb is traversing towards the A site. I think GTZ want to make a quick call here.
Definitely feels like it. The bomb is making its way in towards A main, though, but the upper of Soltovski's already posted.
And kONO have adjusted altogether, right? Feels like one way or another they're chained and looking to put their foot down on this A site. And I don't mind it at all. Soltovski, very far forward. Although it's so far forwards, you start to wonder, is it really an A hit? You know, you don't have mid control, so tunnels could very much be a chance. Draws out the pistol and goes for a chase. I don't know how I feel about this.
Surely you know there's going to be more people in towards A, though, right? The moment you see Soltovski pushing with a USB in hand, they should be ready for more.
CJ did not really like that engagement. Didn't go his way. And when he turns around, he finds other contact as well. Amster required a 1-on-4, turning it down to a 1v3, but obviously needs to switch up his position because now everybody's going to be looking in donut.
Still doable. I'm not sure if you really want to give this one a go. Now you probably do. You do have a kit. No
You're
smoke,
feeling
though.
more comfortable. But that all posted up, holding the angle, just doesn't make you feel too good. Although missing the shot gives me the heebie-jeebies. Flash available. Tap of the bomb to potentially get them out into the open. That could have been a potential dink, but no. Rafax is alive, and you're right. Amsa knows the lack of time is going to be an issue. So a saved AK, sure, is a bonus, but GTZ end up with a lead.
What a recovery, man. We were hoping for probably a cleaner game of Counter-Strike, but it still has been going round for us. Still has been really scrappy. GTZ get 4 in a row just when it started feeling like kONO could have been able to actually run away with a comfortable CT side here. And it's crazy because all of that we're looking at right now started with just 1 round with the pistols. 1 half buy-in towards B for GTZ. That's made such a change.
Flip side. Captain Kirka.
It's Counter-Strike.
Enabled with an MP9, you're right. Counter-Strike comes in all shapes and sizes and forms. For a moment there, I thought, was that connected? That would have been Counter-Strike-like, if you will. Bomb goes down. And you start to wonder for kONO, what really do they have that's a positive? Because sure, they've got a conversion coming in from mid, but then there's also backup with the likes of Snappy that can just backstab you all over again. So yeah, GTZ, they're very confident on this T side, and they're able to bring it back after some very early losses that could potentially be upsetting, but they are ahead at halftime.
Yeah, definitely going to be feeling damn good about it. Give it a bit of a halftime stretch there for Snappy. And excuse the pun, they all have been looking really snappy so far for the side of GTZ. It looked like a worrying first couple of rounds, but on the back of 5 in a row towards the end, they were able to bring it back from a 2-5 down to a 7-5 up situation for the Portuguese. And now it's kONO on the T side. Now it's kONO that need to start punching harder once again. We thought that the momentum would be on their side. Well, definitely there's been a shift in that conversation. With the like the good old mid to donut to a walk. With 1 player coming out of main.
Some early kills for kONO, and they keep on going. Bomb gets slapped down. But GTZ are required to do some slapping of their own. But they're only on the receiving end of it. DS, which is Greek for Zeus, will not be throwing any lightning this round. As kONO win the pistol. They've been winning most of these, Ted, and I feel that that's given them a lot of ways into games that really shouldn't be theirs.
Yeah, I think so as well. It is difficult to say that, you know, something shouldn't be theirs or something should be theirs, because it's been a pretty, I think, a pretty competitive and evened up game, right? Even if you look at the scores of the first 2 maps exchanges. So I think at this point we're just looking at this game, we're going with the flow, and we're just observing what the 2 teams have for us. It is difficult to find logic in a lot of things, but that's where we find joy and entertainment. It's just the fact that nothing makes sense. But CJ could get a nice multi-kill.
Could have, would have. It's Captain Kirk instead to do a lot of the fragging. And it's a lot on the MMAC 10s as well. It's like, you know, it's insult to injury for GTZ.
Ready for the overtime?
I feel like that is a very reasonable assumption to make, that this game is probably heading there. Yeah. Not surprised.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like it's not impossible.
No. You don't often see overtimes, but this game has kind of been going back and forth. It's like both teams playing a game of tug of war.
Yeah.
And no one really seems to be the big favorite. I mean, what do Yeah, you be the analyst,
Yeah.
Ted. I don't know. Oh, like what?
It's all about knowing how to ask the right questions, Pavlos. As the
Apparently, I'm useless at that.
yeah,
What's the question here?
that is the real question.
What's the meaning of the
isn't it?
universe? I've got the answer to that though. 32.
Isn't it 42?
Oh, you could be right, but I didn't ask. The question wasn't what's the answer to the the question of universe, and
Yeah, we know
My
the
question's
answer. We don't
different.
know the question. But it is 42. I'm
it's all about knowing the
sorry
right
to inform you.
questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're teaching a lot to our viewers today.
Yeah.
I don't think they've learned a lot, but we're trying to teach them something.
Yeah. In case you didn't know, guys, that is the answer. We know that the answer is 42. We're just looking at the question.
Thinking about the question.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
9 plus 10?
my question right now is what the hell is going on? Because GTZ just got the guns out. They win a clean round. And kONO, again, somehow, after winning 2 in a row at the start and winning the pistol round, are out of money. So we could be seeing a quick repetition of what happened in the first half.
The status quo of this half is the only one that actually makes sense so far here, Ted.
Okay.
The fact that you win the pistol, the follow-up, but when the guns come in for the CT side, they win. Now, the fashion in which it happened the first 2 rounds, maybe not. But we've got to look on the bright side of life here. Things are looking normal. To some extent.
Definitely are. Captain Kirk with a nice opening. Nope, able to actually get the refrag. This is a really important one for the context of the round, though. You couldn't let Captain Kirk get out of there unpunished. Nope, does get a 1-for-1. Spots out a second player in towards middle as well, so time to give away that donut position. And he's got a little bit of support coming out of Diaz. Double pushing towards B round coming up. If they get the kill onto Amster, they will know it's an A play. It's a great first one, and even the damage onto the second Amster. A lot of efforts being put into that fight.
He gets so close to getting the second one, but now it's the rest of the GTZ side that need to step it up. Molly concerning a lot of the assist time, which buys momentum here for kONO to really get a double kill. Saltovsky now on the one-on-one, but it's a bit of an uneven fight because he's got all of his health, and his opponent just one bullet away from his demise. kONO keeping a leash on their opponent, and they're sticking close.
Amster just won them the round. That's it. I mean, he gets only 1 kill, but I can give him all 5. Yeah, he gets the instant headshot onto the first one, does a lot of damage to make that 1v1 incredibly easy for Saltovsky to convert as well. It was probably the most simplified thing that Saltovsky's been up against all day long. Fantastic work coming out of Amster, and look at the state of GTZ's economy now. They have the guns, sure, but the Yuto is going to be fairly low after that initial barrage in towards middle. Make it make sense.
It's Wazi, it's a reason. Gazi, it's fairy dust, it's not real.
It is real, though. We're looking at it. It's in front of our eyes. So no, the Wolf of Wall Street doesn't save you here.
Did you hear the thump?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was thinking about thumping the mic, but
Yeah, probably don't do that.
probably would be annoying, you know?
I think, you know what? I think we can get away with being annoying to our audience every now and then for a little bit.
Yeah, you'll forgive us.
Yeah.
I know. You're chill like that. Just our chat is just full of chill dudes. Chill guys.
Yeah.
Do. Sorry. Oh,
That's how
dear
you know
me.
he's officially losing his mind, by the way.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's on its course for sure. kONO, a bit of a reset for them. It's a full spy. That's what it is. Not much of a reset. And the next round will probably be one.
Unless they win it. They lose the...
Yeah,
okay,
the thing is...
Hear me out. Saltovsky's the one with the rifle and the full ute. So Saltovsky and Amster die without getting a single kill, and then the pistols in the 3v5 are going to win it.
Yeah, hear me out. They're going to take the A site cleanly.
Actually,
maybe
I am
Rafa
willing
gets away
to-
with one.
Yeah, I will disagree. Rafa's off angle is good.
It is.
And you have a donut rifle zone. Okay, so there should be no logical way. What is going on? What is going on?
No
And they're going
way! No! Stop it! The bomb now is in the hands of GTZ. What on earth? You thought that the B site was a weak point for kONO. It was a 2v4, 2v3 rather, but no, they're still winning the fights because now they've got AKs.
There's no way Rafa wins that.
Oh, but he might, because
Pretty ace.
this round is crazy. Flash not able to look
Oh my
away, but he
goodness.
still gets the kill. Stop it. Well, DHE does damage. Bomb will be going down because there's just enough space for it. Now kONO's got the 2v1, and they started this off with just pistols and a rifle. Rafa, 3 to his name, he's required of an ace. But they're all hiding. He spotted out the knee of one. Oh, well, there really was a chance there. But Amsa goes for a Ferrari peek, and it's kONO to come out on top.
You know what? This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I can say that with so much confidence. I can say it with chest. They get a triple.
You know,
That was
if you're
the
gonna make
fake.
a chess, if you're gonna talk about chess, just imagine the evaluation bar. Watch playing, I don't know, on chess.com or something, and every round the evaluation bar going up and down, not knowing who the hell is favorite to win.
With a T.
Oh,
Yeah, say it
sorry,
with chess.
my mind's on
you know?
chess. My mind is, yeah.
Say it with chess?
I would.
What does that mean?
I don't know, man. I'm playing checkers, not chess.
Right.
Backgammon. That's a real Balkan game.
Oh yeah.
Would you call it in Bulgaria? We call it Tavli.
Tabla.
Hey, very close.
Yeah. Shout out to all my backgammon homies one time.
We need to play that one day, dude. You know, when we meet up, we're playing backgammon.
Yeah. All my homies warm up for a Counter-Strike game with backgammon.
Yeah, get those odds in. You know, get all the bad rolls out of the way. Snappy. He's hiding in a very dangerous area here in the smoke. Honestly, I'm not quite sure where he is. Honestly, he knows though. Saltovsky able to bounce back from it though. 3v3. Who would have thought? In such a chaotic round, it'd still be very close. Linko keeping a good distance with that MP9, and he does a lot of damage. And now kONO, I've got their faith onto Saltovsky, but somehow there was a chance. Somehow he could have isolated, but Rafa doesn't need assistance as he finds a double kill this round and puts GTZ on double digits first.
That was well done and well read. You have 3 people in towards the B bomb side. You sent the cave player and the B and the usual B anchor on that double push in towards the cave, just to make sure that both of them get seen. Snappy gets one of the kills. Refract comes in. You know, there's one more. Link goes up close and Bursino in towards the ramp with the MP9, so they never knew there was another guy. And then the moment that you're trying to walk out, the Oper was already in place there. So this one falls into place really nicely here for GTZ, and this one is falling out of place for kONO. They did win one scrappy investment in the previous one. Now they need to go at it again. A tactical timeout as well. It's been a round exchange, but kONO might end up on the receiving end unless they pick up another one with the pistols. A pit 250 in the hands of CJ, the captain. A couple Tech 9s, a hero, so AK for Saltovsky. One smoke, a couple flashes in a molly, in a mid-fight. And a whitewash.
Smooth sailing for this one. Yeah, a tidal wave just knocks kONO down completely. But the thing about tidal waves, they can become a little bit unpredictable.
You know what I thought about, by the way? You know that clip of the guy that is playing Counter-Strike and is fully focused and sweating and shaking?
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
you hear a lot of boom, boom, dush, dush. Yeah, on the keyboard and everything. A lot of
CJ
slapping.
actually looks like this person a little bit. I was trying to remember where I recognize him from. It's not him, obviously, but just wait to see him on the camera, not on the picture, on the camera. When we look at CJ, just think about it.
Okay, I'll pay attention. Pay attention.
rushing
kONO
A.
are grouping up. The Tech-9s, they forced again. There's 2 rounds in a row. Will it work? We don't know. Rafa holds the angle. Warp in hand. What on earth is going to happen? We don't know. No one knows. The thing is, GTZ have 2 players. There might have been a potential with a third,
They have
but
3.
he's repulsed. Yeah, you're right. Pulsed and Donut.
Yep.
Now,
Ready.
because Rafa started to leave and Snappy doesn't quite connect. Oh no, it's going to be a Tech-9 round win, isn't it? Oh no. Yeah, the writing is on the wall somehow. No, Bent up with 2. Okay, that's doable. The flash is causing havoc. And GTZ are close to this, so they're not going to make it easy for the bomb to go down. They know they're ever close to making this map their own, especially if they can get this round win. They can't lose too much. 1 minute. Zog going to tap in the numbers. Spray down from Diaz. There is a reply from Amster, but the bodies available for this fight are just too overwhelming. GTZ looking to get onto map and series point. I think the question in everybody's minds are, can they close it out?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Felt like it was a little bit scrappy there for a second. Nope, fully blinded, but the T's were flashed as well. And I think Captain Kirko was the one that needed to get that refrag. The moment that he misses the shots, it was always going to be a difficult one to pick up. At least they get a bomb plant, so the bonus money is going to be coming in. This time it's not going to be only the pistols, but 2 rifles, a couple SMGs, a little bit more utility for kONO as well. Which is significantly better than what they had in the previous one. And this time, they're going B. Again, might be a rush.
They are. Yeah, holding hands at that. I do like the Oompa Loompa in the hands of Zogan. That just gives me good luck charms.
Okay, they've slowed it down. It's a pop. It's still coming.
They are. And GTZ are well equipped for this. It's just a matter of the util dropping right on time. And it's an off angle from Rafa, which is able to get away from and ends up with a pick without too much trouble.
Burning.
There's reassurance. There's assistance. Although the Mac 10 from CJ is snappy. It's strong. Tech-9 from Linko as he starts to run out from bullets on the AK. Snappy's got himself a flank and CJ finds himself locked in the middle. It might be warm, but it's uncomfortable. Let's see what this captain can do. Can he steer the ship to safety? At least he's got the bomb, so he does have aspects of control. GTZ are able to seal the deal by the end. It got us nervous, but they get it done, and they're the first from these 2 teams to get themselves to the 2-1 bracket.
Yeah, I guess this is one that's gonna leave a nice taste in your mouth if you're GTZ, right? After that 13-8 on Dust 2, you probably felt like you should have closed it out in 2, especially after getting 7 rounds in the first half of Inferno, but then everything falls apart. You don't pick up a single CT side round in the second half of Inferno. You're left with 7. And then going into Ancient, at least towards the start, it felt like kONO were going to just run away with a good start on the CT side. But in the end, GTZ were able to pick everything up. I guess shake off some of the dust and make it work. A 13-9 win. A pretty convincing map towards the end, especially, I feel like, for the side of the Portuguese. And definitely a result that's going to make them really happy, considering, as we said, it had been quite a while since we saw them pick up 2 consecutive wins for the last time. Now they have done so. And going into the 2-1, there is a big chance that they find themselves in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've got 2 chances to try and make it there from here on out. So, actually, yeah, they have 2 chances to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually do that. Look, GTZ are the type of team that they've got some analytical aspects to them. Right, you've got Linko, who's brought in as an assistant coach from time to time in various different teams and projects. And, you know, overall, there's a lot of potential for them to, you know, be quite creative and solid. But today was quite the scrappy one. kONO took them through the paces. I guess we'll get to hear firsthand from Linko as he'll be joining us for the interview as we bring him onto the broadcast. Linko, congrats on the win. It didn't look simple, let's be fair. It didn't look easy, a walk in the park, but I'd like to hear it from you. What happened there?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be talking with you. I think it was a hard match for us. I think kONO is a great team. I think they have always a style, a very good, difficult style to play against because they have some nice strats. They play together a lot of times, and it's hard to play as City, for example. And as T, I think sometimes they know how to be aggressive and to play passive, and sometimes it's difficult for us to read them. But yeah, I think we started well on Dust 2. I think it's a map we're working a lot, and I think it's paying. I think we did a great city side. On this side, we could have handled rounds better, but we closed it at the end. I think on Inferno, we started, I think, well. But on city side, I think nothing worked. I think the main problem on city side was like we changed the player last week. We didn't have a lot of time to work with him on Inferno, and I think on city side we were like not lost, but a lot of things were going bad. Rotations, communication also went a bit down. Then on Ancient, I think we knew that they are strong on Ancient, but we are strong also. We lost both pistols, I guess. I think that's not good. It's a thing like we are losing all the time the pistols. We need to work on that. But I think overall, I think we did a good decide, a good comeback, some close rounds. Every round was like to the limit. Every single round. I think we lost a round where they have an AK and some pistols. So every round was close. And yeah, I think like it was good this side. Then we go to into city. We are very confident on our city side. We lost also some rounds, but I think kONO played good. As I said, I think they're a very good team. I like to watch them. And yeah, I think it was a hard match, but yeah, glad we win it.
You mentioned Diaz's name that you added 1 week ago and you haven't had a lot of time to practice with, but what do you make of him now being on the team? How do you think he's adding up to the mix? Do you think that you're getting more comfortable with him now that you've played on officials, or you think you're going to be able to implement him back quickly? Because he's played with the majority of the guys as well in previous teams. Like all of you have kind of played together before.
Yeah, I think Diaz is a very calm guy. He's like very good actually. He's like a guy who fits into the team instantly, because we changed a bit of positions. Like I'm now more like an anchor and I'm adapting to it, but no problem about that, because Diaz makes the game easier because he's very smart. He was also in-game leader back in these days. So I think it was since the first day we had him, I think we had an upgrade. I think not because like our last player, MES, I think he was a very good guy and we really like him, but he was lacking a bit of experience, and that experience is helping us now with this, like maintaining calm even in this type of games like this. We lost, I think it was 10-10 or 10 or 9-9, something like that we lost a round where they killed us 3 on B. It was 1 versus 2 after, but he maintains the calm on TeamSpeak and he's very smart. So I think like we need a bit of time to implement him on every map. We have a lot of officials, but we are working harder to put the team back on track.
That's a lot of useful information there from you, Linko. So thanks for sharing that all with us. I'm not going to take much of your time. I'll let you rest up. I'm sure that was a very exhausting match to play after so many rounds played, and like you said, very, very close throughout. So thanks again for joining us for this interview, and best of luck with your future matches.
Thank you very much.
What an insightful guy, man.
Yeah, I feel like he extrapolated a lot of points throughout his interview, throughout all the questions. He had a lot of points to make, and all of them very interesting to think about. I think mostly the potential that they have with this roster. I think that it's a project he believes in. And look, for Linko, he's been a part of a number of projects, whether that was a player or as an analyst or assistant coach. I feel like he's been able to see a lot of these projects play through, and even through his young career. He can have a good eye on what potentially could be a good project. So I'm glad he thinks he's on the right track here with GTZ.
Yeah, I feel so as well. I think the fact that he's been an assistant coach, because you pointed out he was an assistant coach, a coach on koi, right? So the fact that he has had that, I guess, wider look at how the game should be played, and he was able to look at the game from a coach or an analyst perspective, actually helps you big time when you come back into playing and you have the individual skill, right? Because you're, as he said, you used that word for Diaz, but you are a lot smarter of a player, I think. And the fact that he thinks there's other smart players on this team is definitely exciting. There is some heavy hitters as well, when Nopek was definitely one of them, being our match MVP. But all in all, I feel like for GTZ, it's just an exciting time now with that change, and the fact that they feel like there's a lot of voices in the team. There's a lot of idea inputs, I guess. And then in the meantime, there's a lot of people that can bring the fire to the server individually, which is always important.
Yeah, I completely agree. You can look all across the server with players that popped out. I think it was very evident throughout it that there were different moments where players were coming alive, and in different maps as well. We've had some spree moments from a few, but yeah, the consistent ones were definitely Rafa, Noppe, Rafa overall. I think the AWP, wherever it was, you could definitely sense there was some there was some hold back moments from kONO where they were like, okay, Rafa's here, shot connects, do we go in again? Do we try? We might get traded? And I feel like that fear aspect was a big part for GTZ as well.
Yeah, definitely could have been the case. Good news is, I guess for both those teams, I mean for GTZ even more than that, but they will get 2 chances to qualify for the playoffs. For the side of kONO, they still have a lot more to play for here in the YaLLa Compass. They're not out and done for. They are down in the 1-2, but I feel like after what we've seen today, we definitely know that kONO is one of those teams that you can never write off. So yeah, looking forward to seeing if they're going to be able to make it into the playoffs. I definitely believe that they are one of those teams that could be able to squeeze in, go into the 2-2, and then play the most exhausting best of 3 ever, 3 maps with some overtimes, but still make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything could happen. And that's it for us here at Compass Winter Series for today, as the other match did get conceded on one end. So, yeah, no, GTZ will be running away with that one. They'll be happy with it, and we'll be seeing what more they can produce in the coming days of this tournament. Hope you guys enjoyed today's broadcast, and hope you guys are back as well for the following ones that we've got in store for you. Make sure you have a lovely day, folks, and we'll see you next time.
She said she loves you, but she can't love me.
But I love you.
Yeah. Look, I know my man's going crazy. I gotta break on myself, I amaze me. Phase me. I'm seeing Joe like I'm back in the 80s.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xBet.
On to the next one. YaLLa Compass 2025 season.
If anyone peeks through, they're both dead. They're both dead in the smoke! Bomb drops, popped up behind it at the edge of...
YaLLa Compass 2024 champions!
YaLLa, let's go!